Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Pirates, the traveler check-in system, refusing the invitation of the redhead at start. Chapter 1. East China Sea, Windmill Village. A boy named Lin Mo, wearing a black t-shirt, opened the door of the tavern at noon as usual. Maginot, same old. Lin Mo went directly to the bar and sat down. Okay. The tavern proprietress Makino, who has short dark green hair and wears a headscarf, smiled and picked a bottle of good wine of some years from the wine cabinet, opened it, poured it into a glass, and brought it to him. As the only tavern in Windmill Village, the regular customers here are not only the villagers, but also many guests from other villages passing by. The drinkers who come here like to drink strong alcohol, and occasionally a few children such as Luffy will come over. The children don't like to drink, so there will be some fruit juice drinks in the tavern. And this quiet 10-year-old boy was the first drinking kid she had entertained in years. Picking up the wine glass, Lin Mo took a sip. Makino smiled and asked, "How is it?" "Not bad." At this time, the entrance of the tavern suddenly became lively. With the sound of opening the door, a cheerful voice came at the same time, "Hey, Lin Mo is also here. It's Shanks the Red Hair." Immediately afterwards, Jesus Bu and Lackey rushed into the tavern with other members of the red-haired pirates, yelling for Makino to serve wine. The red hair sat down directly next to Lin Mo, took off the straw hat, and put it on the bar. At this time, he had not lost his left arm because of saving Luffy. Makino brought all the good wine. The red hair opened a bottle directly, took a big sip from the bottle, and then patted Lin Mo on the back with a smile. "Ah ha ha ha. Kid, do you have the answer to the question I asked you yesterday?" Lin Mo put down the wine glass calmly, and said casually, "I refuse." Rejected so directly. You really don't give me any face. The red hair pretended to be sad. The members of the red hair pirates all laughed. Hey ha ha ha, the boss was rejected. Even a little devil can't handle it, you can't do it, boss. Ah ha ha ha, boss, come on, we are all optimistic about you. Then, the redhead took another sip of wine, and laughed with everyone as if nothing happened. The atmosphere of the red-haired pirates was so joyful that Lin Mo, who was a time traveler, couldn't help laughing. That's right, Lin Mo is a time traveler. It has been 10 days since the time travel. As a traveler, the golden finger that Lin Mo got was the traveler system. That is, there will be a check-in task every time you arrive at a designated location. The sign-in here is not just completed when you arrive at the sign-in location, you have to wait until the sign-in progress bar is full. And the conditions for the progress bar to fill up, a bit confusing. At the beginning, when Lin Mo appeared in Windmill Village, the progress bar only increased by 30%. After drinking a glass of wine in Makino's tavern, the progress bar increased by another 30%. Then, after meeting Hongfa and buying him a drink, the overall progress bar has reached 90%. After the last percent of the progress is completed, for Lin Mo, it is time to get up and go to the next sign-in location. But since meeting the red hair a week ago, the progress bar hasn't moved. Hey, brat, the red hair suddenly hooked Lin Mo's neck, and asked with a smile, have you thought about what you want to do in the future? Go to sea, drink and eat meat, and see the scenery all over the world. Lin Mo pushed away his red hair and continued, I want to be a free-spirited traveler. Hearing this, the redhead patted the table and laughed loudly, ahahaha, traveler. Don't you think it's too wasteful to be a traveler with your talent? Okay, talent, could it be that he discovered something? Lin Mo didn't speak yet. The red hair continued, little devil, maybe others can't see it, but don't try to hide it from me. In fact, the two of them have only officially known each other for less than 7 days. Even though the other party seems to be just a 10-year-old who doesn't talk much, the occasional words are mostly mature opinions and bold words that his age should not have. Although Lin Mo's words are often laughed at by other drinkers, I don't care about them at all, and I have never argued with them. If it weren't for the age, the red hair would even have a kind of adult who has experienced many stories, illusion. In short, even if they got along for a short time, just because of Lin Mo's informal personality, the two hit it off right away, and became friends who talked about everything. In addition, Lin Mo's strength may not be seen by others, but he cannot escape the red-haired eyes. Red hair can be sure, 3-color domineering, this kid is all awakened. Domineering is the potential power that almost everyone can possess. This kind of power is an innate ability, such as momentum, murderousness, fighting spirit, etc. By manipulating these invisible feelings, willpower can be turned into a powerful weapon. Strength. Domineering is divided into 3 types: knowledge color, armed color, and overlord color. Except for the overlord color and the highest level of knowledge color, although ordinary people can obtain this kind of power through cultivation, it is not a short-term success. If it is said that he awakened and mastered the armed color and knowledge color at the age of 10, he is undoubtedly a very talented kid. What if he added the domineering color that only one person in millions of people can possess? The most important thing is that Lin Mo is only 10 years old. That would be pretty scary. And this is not what Redhead admires Lin Mo the most. When he saw Lin Mo for the first time in this tavern a week ago, he discovered that this little ghost possessed 3-color domineering energy, but the little ghost's aura was still very disordered. But every day after that, he could clearly feel that the brat's aura was becoming calmer and stronger day by day. The red hair can be sure that no one in Fengche village can guide Lin Mo now. Relying on himself alone to truly become stronger day by day is not something ordinary people can do, especially the stability and improvement of domineering, let alone achieve results in a short period of time. From this, it can be seen that this little ghost is quite terrifying. If it weren't for the past few days and seeing each other every day, he wouldn't have believed that someone could have such an astonishing growth rate. He fully believed that in the near future, this kid would definitely become a person who would shake the whole world. Therefore, Hongfa invited Lin Mo to board the ship yesterday, and gave him a night to think about it. Even though I was rejected just now. But no matter how talented and fast-growing, how far can a 10-year-old child sail alone in this perilous sea? The red hair didn't want Lin Mo, who was still growing up, to die in the sea at such a young age. Actually, you have already awakened the 3-color domineering spirit. With your talent, it's really overkill to be a traveler. The red hair was still reluctant to let go, and continued, "Come on my boat, we can travel all over the world, you can eat meat and drink freely, and you can also gain a boatload of companions worth entrusting your life to." Lin Mo. It was indeed found, as expected of the person who will become the 4 emperors in the future. Indeed, as Red Hair said, with his easy-going personality, he should be very happy on his boat. Moreover, it is indeed attractive to have a group of deadly and interesting companions. It's a pity that Lin Mo didn't intend to join any camp from the beginning. Lin Mo shook his head, and said firmly, "I'm used to being alone, no matter how much you say, no matter how good the conditions you give, I'm not interested. For me, my dream is just to be a free and unrestricted traveler, and that's all." Dazed for a moment, the red hair didn't expect Lin Mo to reject him again. If it weren't for the firm and unshakable eyes of the other party, he would have continued to persuade him, "Little devil, you have to think about it, you are the first person who can let me invite me to board the boat twice in a row, are you sure? Think about it again." The red-haired Shanks is a generous and informal person. He has a good temper and has a harmonious relationship with his subordinates. Because of this person's character, Lin Mo is willing to be friends with him. But to join his crew of pirates? Impossible. Lin Mo shook his head and said, "I've made up my mind, so I don't need to persuade you anymore." Just as he finished speaking, a system notification sounded in his mind. Didi successfully rejected the redhead's invitation, and the sign-in completion rate is plus 10%. Didi, the sign-in task of Windmill Village is completed. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the full attribute chakra physique and the skill Fire Escape Dragon Fire Art. Single quote. Fire Escape Dragon Fire Art. This is one of the extremely powerful fire escape techniques in Naruto, in which the caster uses chakra to extract high heat flames and condense them into a fire dragon to charge at the enemy. Lin Mo didn't expect that in Pirate World, he could get the skills in Naruto. However, he was happy to be happy. One thing he was quite speechless. Since he could complete the final progress by rejecting the red-haired invitation, why didn't he complete the final progress when he refused for the first time? Sure enough, the red-haired guy's first invitation was just a casual talk. Lin Mo immediately opened the attribute panel that only he could see. Name: Lin Mo. Age: 10 years old. Sign and location: Frost Moon Village 0%. Physique: all attribute chakra. Domineering: Armed color LV2, Knowledge color LV2, Overlord color LV2. Skill. Fire Escape Dragon Fire Art Introductory. System Space. 10x10x10 cubic meters. 3 color Domineering and System Space are gift packages for newcomers given by the system when Lin Mo first bound the Traveler system. And the level behind Domineering is the Strength of Domineering, which is different from the Aborigines in Pirate World. If Lin Mo wants to strengthen and improve the level of Domineering, he only needs to complete the Sign in Progress task. That is to say, I met Hongfa and invited him to drink, which increased my progress by 30%. At the same time, I was given a reward for each level of Domineering in 3 colors. The line of sight turns to Frost Moon Village behind the Sign in location. Sure enough, after the check-in at one place is over, the next check-in place will be displayed. Now that the next sign in place has come out, it means that it is time for him to leave. But before leaving, at least treat the redheads to a good drink. A smile appeared on the corner of Lin Mo's mouth. Today I am treating the audience, everyone, let's drink. His fighting wolves, bears, and tigers these days is not for nothing, that is, he has improved his domineering proficiency and earned a lot of Baileys, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Why are you so proud all of a sudden? The redhead asked with a smile. Lin Mo said casually, I'm going to leave. He froze for a moment, but the redhead didn't say anything. Lackey came over with a piece of bone in one hand and a phone bug in the other. Boss, I'm looking for you. Looking for me? Who is it? The redhead took the phone bug. A growl came from the phone bug. Hey, you fool, red hair, have you gone to Windmill Town? Hearing the voice of Luffy's grandfather Garp, the redhead got up and walked out of the tavern with a phone bug in his hand. Haha, why are you so angry? You want to stay here, and I want to buy you a drink. I'm going to be in Windmill Town, so I'll arrest you. Luffy, that stinky boy, was taken away by you. Stay away from Luffy, do you hear me? Ha ha ha. The red-haired man was still laughing 1 second, then calmed down the next second, turned sideways, looked at Lin Mo who was sitting at the bar with his back to him, and suddenly became serious. Carp, you know what, I see a supernova with a bright future. What supernova? Aren't they just brats who rely on their own abilities and think they are awesome? No, he's different. Given time, that brat might be able to stir up the world. As soon as the red hair said this, Garp fell silent. Although his position is different from that of red hair, but based on his understanding of red hair, it is absolutely extraordinary to be able to attract this guy's attention and still be so optimistic about him. Who is the brat you're talking about? I won't tell you, ha ha ha. After finishing speaking, the redhead hung up the phone. On the other side of the phone bug, Garp threw the phone bug to the ground angrily, and stomped it to pieces. Shanks. One day, sooner or later, this old man will personally arrest you and bring you into Push City. The navy next to him was too late to stop him, he couldn't laugh or cry. Vice Admiral Garp, this is the only phone bug that can contact the red-haired Shanks. Carp. After the redhead hung up Garp's phone call, she went back to the tavern and sat down next to Lin Mo. Lin Mo drank in silence. The red hair said, Little devil, do you want to know who called me just now? Lin Mo glanced at him speechlessly. He knows. Although he didn't hear the following content, he could be sure that it was Garp when the other party spoke the first sentence. It's Vice Admiral, Iron Fist Carp. The redhead took a sip of wine and continued, the old guy actually got a phone bug that can contact me, but it's nothing, kid, you have to think about it. Well, your talent will definitely attract the attention of many parties in the future, and if you don't join any camp, you may face the risk of being attacked on many fronts in the future. It doesn't matter. Lin Mo shrugged his shoulders indifferently, and then picked up the wine glass. Red hair, before I go out, have another drink. The red hair didn't say anything more, touched Lin Mo's glass with the wine bottle, drank the remaining half of the bottle, wiped his mouth casually, and asked, leave now. Lin Mo nodded. The red hair got up directly, and said proudly, let's see you off. In fact, the red hair was somewhat disappointed because he did not recruit Lin Mo. But with his personality, no matter what happens, he can face it calmly and optimistically, so there is no disappointment at all on the surface. Come to the pier. The red hair suddenly asked, where is your boat? Lin Mo pointed to a small sailboat that had been docked on the shore for a few days, and replied, there. This was purchased by Lin Mo a few days ago, and he was going to leave immediately after the sign-in task was completed. Such an ordinary boat, are you sure it's okay to sail in the sea? Yeah, Lin Mo jumped onto the boat and untied the rope tied to the shore. I'm leaving. The next time we meet, we should be on the Great Route. Okay, next time we meet, let's have a good drink, kid. If you are tired from sailing alone, you are welcome to come to me at any time. Well, there will be a period later. The boat carrying Lin Mo moved forward slowly. The next stop is Shuangyu village where Sauron is located. The system has its own navigation system, so Lin Mo doesn't have to worry about getting lost in the sea. The boat had just left the pier less than 50 meters, and there were bursts of tumbling waves suddenly under the water. Immediately afterwards, a Neptune-like monster resembling a giant crocodile pierced through the waves, opened its mouth full of fangs, and bit the boat carrying Lin Mo in one bite. At the pier, the villagers of Fengche village exclaimed, "The king of the near sea. It's actually the king of the near sea. Brat, run for your life. Ah, what should I do? He is about to be eaten, whoever saves him quickly." Compared to the worries of the villagers, the red-haired group seemed much more relaxed. The red hair knew that Lin Mo was very strong, but he hadn't actually seen him do anything, so he could take this opportunity to see what this kid was capable of. However, just in case, I still have to stay behind. Hey, Beckman, Jesus Cloth. Don't worry, that kid's fate is not here. Ah, boss, you really like to meddle in your own business. The two picked up their guns at the same time, aiming the muzzles of the guns at the head of the king of the sea, and were ready to shoot if Lin Mo was in danger. Lin Mo looked up and stared at the dominant party, the so-called king of the sea, with disdain. You can't control yourself. It's just a good time to try the power of how long fire art. With the corner of his mouth slightly hooked, Lin Mo condensed and compressed the chakra in his body, then gathered it in his throat, and then sprayed it out in one mouthful, turning into a figurative fire dragon. Under his control, he roared and charged towards the king of the near sea who was close at hand. Almost instantly, the fire dragon directly pierced the thick-skinned body of the king of the sea, and then dissipated into the air. A strong heat wave spread out in all directions. The king of the near sea who was pierced, his eyes were white, he didn't even let out a painful roar, his huge body fell heavily on the sea surface, stirring up countless waves. It took only a few seconds from the appearance of the king of the sea to the defeat by Lin Mo. Everyone on the pier who saw this scene had their eyeballs protruding, and their jaws almost fell to the ground in surprise. Especially the red-haired one, he was surprised, but his heart was full of shock. This kid actually hid a hand. Fire dragon, could it be that he is still the owner of a natural-type devil fruit? Devil fruit is also known as the secret treasure of the sea. It is the incarnation of the sea devil. The taste is hard to describe, but it can endow the eater with powerful abilities, but the side effect is that they are cursed by the sea and cannot swim. Therefore, the sea water or the sea stone representing the solid sea are all tools that can be used to restrain and capture ability users. In addition to its own powerful ability, the devil fruit also has a higher state called awakening power. The fruit awakening here is not a state that can be achieved by simply training the fruit ability, but requires a certain opportunity. Therefore, there are very few people who can really achieve fruit awakening. The fact that Lin Mo possessed three-color arrogance at such a young age was enough to impress the red-haired man, but now, this kid is suspected to have the ability of a devil fruit, or a very strong nature-type ability. And look at the use of abilities, not only proficient, but also very powerful. What a treasure. It's a pity, if only the kid was willing to board the boat. The red-haired turned around, flicked his sleeves, and shouted, "Little ones, let's go and continue drinking." When the shocked villagers came back to their senses, the boat carrying Lin Mo had already sailed away. What happened just now? That kid defeated the king of the sea. Oh my god, am I right? How old is that kid? It's amazing to kill the king of the sea with one move. Who is this brat? Do you know? I don't know. It seems that he came to the village a few days ago. I thought he was just an ordinary kid. Tisk tisk, he really hides his secrets. I remembered, I seem to have seen him in a tavern. At that time, I laughed at him as a kid drinking like an adult. Hey, I hope he didn't take my words to heart. Lin Mo here, sitting in a boat. He expressed his satisfaction with the power of the entry-level Howlong fire art. As for the voices of the villagers on the pier, even though they were hundreds of meters away, he could still hear them, so naturally he didn't take them to heart. Lin Mo opened the system's own navigation. Start to move forward to the next destination, Frost Moon Village. As the evening approached, I finally saw the small island where Shuangyu Village was located. Moor the boat to the shore. As soon as Lin Mo got off the boat, a system notification sounded in his mind. Didi, congratulations to the host for successfully arriving at the check-in location Shuangyu Village. The check-in progress is plus 10%, and the current total progress is 10%. You will be rewarded with the Demon Knife Star Shard and unlock the Skill Sword Technique LV1. Single quote. Demon Blade Star Broken. The name of the knife sounds interesting. For the names of some famous knives, Lin Mo has a little impression, but he really doesn't have the slightest impression of the demon knife Xingxia. Forget it, let's see how this knife looks like. In this way, Lin Mo thought. A seemingly ordinary wooden knife appeared in his hand. That's right, a wooden knife. Look at the words Lake Toya engraved on the handle. Lin Mo was silent. He didn't know about Yaodao Xingxia, but when it came to Lake Toya, he knew it. Isn't that the saber of the protagonist Sakata Jintoki in Gintama? Didi. The system prompts that the Yaodao Xingxia, also known as Toya Lake, is a sword made of a 1-year-old diamond tree. Whether it is a rock or a meteorite, it can be cut or smashed in two, even bullets are no exception. Even it can reach the level of splitting the stars and cutting the moon to destroy everything. Single quote. Splitting the stars and cutting the moon, destroying everything. Seems to be pretty good. Lin Mo gestured with Lake Toya, which was unexpectedly smooth. Put Lake Toya on your belt. Lin Mo got up and walked towards the village. Speaking of Shuangyu Village, the first thing he thought of was Sauron and Yixin Dojo. According to the current age of Sauron, he should have been worshipped under Koshiro, the owner of Yixin Dojo. Moreover, the initial rewards for going ashore this time were swordsmanship and Lake Toya. It can be seen that this sign in task should be inseparable from Kendo. That being the case, let's go to Yixin Dojo to see the situation first. Under the guidance of enthusiastic villagers, Lin Mo soon came to the door of Yixin Dojo. Even though it was late, the dojo was still brightly lit, and the sound of children practicing sword chopping could be heard from it. Didi. Arrive at Yixin Dojo. Sign in progress plus 10%, current total progress is 20%, sword skill level plus 1. Single quote. Suddenly, a warm current flowed through the meridians of the whole body, and various sword skills of LV2 level naturally appeared in his mind. Compared with the insignificant improvement of LV1, LV2 made Lin Mo clearly feel that he has become stronger again. Mouth slightly raised, Lin Mo walked into the dojo generously. In the dojo, led by a girl with short blue hair, and dozens of young children are practicing chopping. Lin Mo noticed at first glance that among the group of children, the boy with short green hair and a middle-aged man wearing glasses, squinting his eyes and always smiling was sitting by the side of the dojo. The boy with the green algae head is Zoro, and the middle-aged man is Koshiro, the father of the blue-haired girl Kuina and the master of the Yixin Dojo. Koshiro's swordsmanship is very superb. As far as Lin Mo knows, this hermit master has never really used his full strength. According to his current L2 swordsmanship, compared with Koshiro, he has no chance of winning. The slight movement at the door caught Koshiro's attention, and at the same time, he also noticed the wooden sword hanging on Lin Mo's waist. Koshiro's glasses reflected light. That wooden sword. It didn't feel normal to him. Get up. Koshiro walked towards Lin Mo. The children who were still practicing chopping swords in the dojo stopped and looked towards the door. Are you a child from a foreign country? Are you also a swordsman? Koshiro asked with a smile. Lin Mo nodded lightly, but did not directly answer Koshiro's question. Originally, he came here just to have a face-to-face with Koshiro and Zoro. Now that his goal has been achieved, he should withdraw. Lin Mo was about to leave. Koshiro looked at Lin Mo's receding figure strangely. There are many things that ordinary people can't see, but Koshiro is different. He has seen countless people in his life, and Lin Mo's steady walk and calm breath can prove that this child's strength is extraordinary. Moreover, from the first time he saw the child, he discovered from the calm eyes of the other party that the child had a mood that looked down on everything. Most people practice swords very impetuously. There are only a handful of people who can truly achieve peace of mind. Only by truly sinking your heart to understand everything in the world, and not being affected by the emotions and desires, can you become a truly powerful swordsman. Koshiro saw the future from Lin Mo. Wait a moment. Koshiro stopped Lin Mo. Lin Mo paused, turned his head, and said in a flat tone, "What?" Koshiro smiled and asked, "What's your name?" Lin Mo. "Do you like tea?" Lin Mo. "If you have time, why don't you stay and have a cup of tea together, have some refreshments, and chat by the way, how about it?" "No need." Lin Mo refused, "I prefer drinking to tea." Koshiro was stunned for a moment. "Wine? Ah, hee, what an interesting kid. I also have some old wine that has been placed here for several years. Do you want to try it?" Aging. Lin Mo was slightly moved. "It is good." He just finished the word. Kuina came over dissatisfied. "Father, what are you doing? Obviously he has already rejected you, why do you have to keep him?" "Guina, you don't understand." Koshiro smiled and said, there is still a lot to learn from Lin Mo in the future." "Learn from him? Father, did you make a mistake? He looks younger than me." "Age doesn't mean everything," Koshiro continued, "his strength is already far above yours." "What? Just rely on him." Kuina refused to accept, and pointed at Lin Mo with the bamboo sword in her hand. "I want to challenge you." As Kuina, who can easily defeat even an adult, she naturally refuses to accept that her strength will be weaker than someone from a foreign country, or even younger than her. Therefore, she wants to prove to Koshiro that she is the strongest. And Lin Mo was not the kind of person who was easily incited, and the purpose of his coming here was not to fight. Facing Kuina's invitation to fight, he was speechless. Koshiro sullen, a little displeased. "Guina, that's enough. Put down the sword." "Father," Kuina said angrily, "I want to prove to you that a girl can also become a swordsman and number one in the world. Since you think he is better than me, fine, then I will defeat him." This child. Koshiro rubbed his temples with a headache, and turned to look at Lin Mo who was speechless. "Sorry, I made you laugh, but in fact, Kuina just refused to admit defeat, and she didn't mean any harm." "It's okay." Lin Mo shrugged indifferently. To be able to maintain peace of mind after being challenged like this, Koshiro strengthened his mind. This child is indeed extraordinary. But Kuina is determined to challenge Lin Mo. If it makes the child Kuina suffer, maybe it won't be a bad thing for her. Thinking of this, Koshiro said, "In this case, Lin Mo, you can accept Kuina's challenge." "Of course, I won't let you compete for nothing." Koshiro looked at Guina. "Since you insist on challenging Lin Mo, then at the price of He Daoyi's words, if you lose, He Daoyi's words will belong to Lin Mo." He Dao Yiwen is one of the famous knives of the 21 knives of Dakue knife. Lin Mo naturally knew. What surprised him was that Koshiro would use a famous sword as a reward for a swordsmanship competition between children. Kuina couldn't believe it. "Father, He Dao is a word." "I know." Koshiro cut off Kuina's words. "This is the risky price you have to pay for insisting on challenging Lin Mo. If you are afraid of losing, then give up the challenge." Only the word fear cannot appear in the heart of a qualified swordsman. Especially on the occasion of battle, once such emotions arise, the consequences will be very dire. Ji Yuyina looked at Lin Mo. Her eyes were full of dissatisfaction and anger. "I will not lose, I want to challenge you." Lin Mo actually didn't want to accept this inexplicable challenge. Even if he was rewarded with a famous knife, he didn't care. Seeing that Lin Mo had no intention of fighting, Koshiro smiled and said, "If you win, you will not only get He Dao Yi, but also 10 altars of aged wine brewed with special techniques and sealed for nearly 10 years. Lin Mo's eyes moved slightly. 20 altars. I only have 15 altars, I can give them all to you. Make a deal. Seeing that Lin Mo agreed to Kuina's challenge. The children in the dojo, including Zoro, immediately sat around skillfully. Come on, Kuina, you are the most powerful person in the dojo, rush over and kill him. That's right, let this outsider see how powerful our dojo is. Yes, just like how you usually fight Sauron, knock that guy down with one sword. Sauron. Hey, Sauron glared dissatisfiedly at someone who cheered Kuina up. Do you need a beating, brat? Cheer up Kuina and don't get me involved. Dojo center. Okay, everyone be quiet. Koshiro said, Guina, Lin Mo, get ready to start. Lin Mo walked towards the sword bucket placed in the corner of the dojo, and randomly pulled out a bamboo sword from it. For a competition of this level, he does not intend to use Lake Toya. According to the rules of Yixin Dojo, to learn and challenge swordsmanship is to salute the altar and the opponent. After a set of procedures, the two stood opposite each other. Holding a bamboo sword in her hand, Ji Yuyina faced Lin Mo with a solemn expression. I will not lose. Come on, Lin Mo said calmly. Ha! Ji Yuyina immediately rushed towards Lin Mo quickly, swiped the bamboo sword in the air, and slashed at Lin Mo's face several times in a row. The speed was extremely fast and the strength was great. With her resentment. But every blow was easily blocked by Lin Mo. Seeing that she couldn't break through the opponent's defense, Kuina slightly changed the angle of the blade, from bottom to top, from left to right, and drew a beautiful arc, trying to knock the bamboo sword in Lin Mo's hand into the air. Just when Lin Mo seemed to be ready to continue to block this move, Kuina suddenly made a turn, turned around and quickly appeared behind Lin Mo, raised her sword again, and slashed at him aggressively with all her strength. Indeed, Kuina's sword skills are not bad compared to most people. But in Lin Mo's view, it was still too late, the speed was too slow, and it was full of loopholes. Let's fight fast. He doesn't want to waste too much time here. Without thinking too much, Lin Mo turned around directly, and with a slightly surprised look on Kuina's face, he knocked the bamboo sword in his hand away with one blow. Kuina only felt a pain in her wrist, and the bamboo sword in her hand had fallen to the floor 2 meters away. From the start to the end of the game, it only takes a few seconds before and after. After a short silence, the audience was in an uproar. Cheat, lie, Kuina actually lost. How is this possible? How could Kuina lose? She is someone who can defeat even adults. How could she lose to a foreigner? My God, who the hell is that guy? Koshiro glanced at Kuina, who was in a daze at the moment, and then announced the result of the competition. 1 point, Lin Mo wins. Lin Mo threw the bamboo sword in his hand back into the sword barrel. Kuina, who came back to her senses, picked up the bamboo sword that fell on the ground, and said loudly, No, I won't lose, come again. I won't give you the words of Hidao. Kuina, you have already lost. Koshiro reprimanded Kuina in a rare and serious tone in public. No matter how many times you compete, you can't beat Lin Mo. The gap between you and him, you can see for yourself, won't you come out? No. With tears in her eyes, Kuina clenched her fists and ran out of the gym unacceptably. Hey, Kuina. Seeing this, Sauron hurriedly chased her out. This girl. Koshiro shook his head with a headache, then looked at the other children. This is the end of today's practice, everyone go back and rest. Yes, teacher. The children got up and bowed to Koshiro, and then left the dojo with a lot of discussion. After the children had left, Koshiro looked at Lin Mo. Come with me. Lin Mo nodded slightly. Follow Koshiro to the tea room in the backyard of the dojo. The two sat opposite each other. On the tea table in front of you were a pot of freshly brewed tea and a pot of fine wine exuding a pure fragrance. Koshiro handed Lin Mo a knife with a white handle and scabbard that had just been taken out of the warehouse. It looked simple, but it was actually hidden. From now on, this knife is yours. Quote. This is Hidao Yi Wen. Lin Mo took it unceremoniously, and hung it on his waist together with Lake Toya. Then, the two took a sip from the teacup and wine glass in front of each other. Not to mention, Koshiro said that the taste of the aged wine is not bad, although it is not very strong, it has a clear and mellow cherry blossom flavor, which is refreshing. Lin Mo liked it very much. How is it? Koshiro said with a smile. The brewing technique of this wine has been passed down from a very special place. Generally, you can't buy this kind of wine outside. Not bad. Lin Mo nodded in affirmation. At this time, Didi, chat with Koshiro over a drink, sign in progress plus 10%, current total progress is 30%, reward swordsmanship level plus 1, current swordsmanship level is LV3. Single quote. The moment his swordsmanship level was raised to L3, Lin Mo's aura suddenly became fierce. With him as the center, an invisible sword intent spread out, but it was fleeting. A look of astonishment flashed across Lin Mo's eyes. The reason why he is willing to have a drink with Koshiro is because he thinks that the other person is not bad, and he is just a little bit interested. But I didn't expect this unintentional move to complete the sign in progress by mistake. What a pleasant surprise. Tea room. Sitting opposite each other, one big and one small, sipping tea and drinking wine, it was very pleasant. However, the moment Lin Mo drank a cup of wine, suddenly, the tea room was full of sword spirit, and a powerful invisible sword energy spread around Lin Mo and stirred in this small square inch, and it was fleeting. Koshiro's originally smiling face froze for a moment because of the sudden appearance of the sword aura that made him feel a little oppressed. The fingers holding the teacup couldn't help tightening, and even the way they looked at Lin Mo changed. Koshiro said in surprise, "Your swordsmanship seems to have improved just now." Although he doesn't know what happened, Koshiro can be sure that the current Lin Mo, compared with the Lin Mo who competed with Guina before, is no longer at the same level in terms of understanding of swordsmanship and mastery of swordsmanship. This kid is indeed a swordsman. After thinking about it, Koshiro couldn't help but ask, "Can you tell me, who taught you your swordsmanship?" "Self-taught. Self-study. So, don't you have a teacher yet?" "Ah, no one guides you, so how do you practice swords?" No comment. Koshiro is not the kind of person who will get to the bottom of the matter, and then he smiled and said, "Since you don't want to talk, I won't ask any more. I have a suggestion, why don't you stay in the dojo? Not only will there be wine to drink, but I can teach you swordsmanship." In fact, when Lin Mo said that he did not have a teacher, Koshiro was already moved. Such a talented child like Lin Mo is really rare, and he naturally doesn't want to let it go easily. "No," Lin Mo refused, "I'm a traveler, and I won't stay in the same place for too long." "Traveler?" Koshiro was stunned for a moment. "Your talent is only to be a traveler. It's too reckless. If you are willing to stay, I can teach you everything I have learned all my life. I believe that with talent, you can definitely become a teacher in the shortest time, and it will not be too late to continue to be a traveler." "No, I appreciate your kindness." Lin Mo still maintained his original attitude, and he also rejected Koshiro with the same words he had rejected Red Hair before, inheriting the way of swords, or becoming a great swordsman admired by everyone. None of them are interested. For me, my dream is to be a free and unfettered traveler, nothing more." Koshiro asked again without giving up, "Are you really unwilling to stay?" Lin Mo nodded firmly, "Yes." Seeing that he couldn't move him anymore, Koshiro had no choice but to say, "Okay, since that's the case, I won't persuade you to stay. How long do you plan to stay in Shuangyu village this time?" Lin Mo thought for a while, and now the total sign in progress is only 30%. According to the previous sign in experience in Fengche town, it is estimated that it is unlikely to end smoothly in less than 10 days and half a month, about half a month. Hearing this, Koshiro took a sip from his teacup and continued, "There is no hotel in the village. Before you leave, you should stay in the dojo." "Okay." Lin Mo had no objection. Afterwards, the two chatted a few more words, and Koshiro arranged a guest room for Lin Mo, and by the way, had someone deliver all the wine he had promised to give to Lin Mo. After putting all the 15 altars and half-person high wine jars into the system space, it was still early, so Lin Mo was going to go to the village for a walk. Just walked into the yard. He felt a murderous aura coming from behind him. Sideways dodged a wave of attacks. Facing the moonlight, after seeing the person with the iconic short green hair attacking him, Lin Mo easily knocked Sauron to the ground with 2 bamboo swords. Sauron got up from the ground. "Guina will lose to you. You must be opportunistic to win. If it is a man, pick up the sword. I want to challenge you. If I win, you will fight with me." Return the words to Guina. Lin Mo. What is this? Lin Mo was speechless. He didn't want to talk to Sauron. But when he turned to leave, Sauron held 2 bamboo swords and attacked him again. "Ha, take it." Just like before, even if Lin Mo didn't face Sauron, he still easily dodged all kinds of attacks from Sauron, and finally hit him to the ground with a hand blade. When he left for the 3rd time, Sauron got up from the ground and rushed towards him again. Lin Mo was a little annoyed. Was this guy so annoying as a kid? "If you beat you with a sword, you won't bother me, right?" Lin Mo pulled out Lake Toya and easily blocked Soren's moves. At the same time, he also discovered that in terms of strength, Sauron really is stronger than Kuina, but in terms of skills and understanding, the gap between the two is a bit big. No wonder this guy can't beat Kuina all the time. Lin Mo didn't think about it anymore, and hit Soren's face with a sword, just like Kuina usually fought against Sauron. Sauron fell backwards, fell heavily to the ground, and turned his back to the sky. Lin Mo put away Lake Toya and prepared to leave. Looking at the sky full of stars, Sauron clenched his fists, unwilling to reconcile. He is about the same age, why is he so strong? Why? The fluke mentality that existed at the beginning dissipated. He originally thought that Lin Mo won against Ji Yuyina by relying on opportunism, but now it seems that he was wrong. Lin Mo is really strong. Get up from the ground again. Zoro looked at Lin Mo's back as he went further and further away, hesitated to speak, clenched his fists tightly, and finally couldn't help but chased after him. Hey, wait a minute. Huh? Lin Mo turned to look at him. Sauron asked directly, how long have you practiced sword? Less than half a day. Ban. Half day. Sauron swallowed secretly. How could it be possible for Ban Tien to have such powerful swordsmanship? At the moment, the first thing he thought of was that Lin Mo was fooling him, but for some reason, this guy didn't feel like the type of person who was full of lies. Lin Mo doesn't care if others believe it or not. Believe it or not, I'll go first. Seeing that Lin Mo was about to leave, Sauron immediately caught up and stood in front of him. I didn't say I didn't believe it, but I was just surprised. Can you tell me how you practice swords? I want to be you too, such a powerful person. Lin Mo didn't expect Sauron to ask him about swordsmanship. But thinking of Soren's entanglement just now, if he left without saying anything, this guy would definitely not give up easily. That being the case, it's better to give that guy some advice and let him figure it out by himself, so that the next days can be passed in peace. Thinking of this, Lin Mo said, how long have you been in Yixin Dojo? Almost a year. The result of studying for a year is to rush forward recklessly and knock down the opponent with brute force. This. Sauron panicked. Lin Mo continued. Do you know why you can't beat Kuina all the time? I don't know. Obviously I have worked very hard, but I just can't beat her. Do you know why? You have no skill in fighting. Lin Mo said bluntly, in terms of strength, you are on par with Kuina when you use the double knife style now. Even if your strength is far greater than hers in the future, she can still defeat you with superb sword skills. From the beginning, your direction was half wrong. Half wrong? Sauron asked hurriedly, then what should I do to defeat Kuina? On the premise of practicing basic skills, you still have to improve your sword skills. Don't blindly just know how to rush forward with brute force. You have to think about the opponent's attack routines. As long as you are strong enough, then you can also find flaws in perfect sword moves. Just when he had just finished saying this sentence. DD. Guide Soren's swordsmanship, sign in progress plus 20%, and the current total progress is 50%. Reward sword skill level plus 1, current sword skill level is LV4. Single quote. Hearing this, Lin Mo immediately felt the change in the power in his body, and a more powerful and terrifying aura emanated out. Really? If you want to complete the sign in progress, you still need to be with key people, as you can see from the sign in progress that has increased by 20% from guiding Soren's swordsmanship. What was that just now? At this moment, Soren's voice came, is it an illusion? I seem to feel an indescribable sense of oppression. Lin Mo glanced at Sauron. It is worthy of being the great swordsman who will become the left and right hand of Pirate King Luffy in the future. Turning the topic back, Lin Mo asked, do you understand what I told you just now? Sauron came back to his senses, scratched his head, and said with half understanding, it is to think and analyze the opponent's moves, and then find a flaw to defeat him, right? In a real battle, the enemy won't give you a lot of time to analyze his moves. Then what should I do? Understand it yourself. Speaking of this, Lin Mo suddenly asked, do you believe that there is a sword that can cut everything in this world? Sauron was stunned for a moment, his eyes flooded, is there really such a sword? The corner of Lin Mo's mouth hooked slightly, and he picked up a bamboo sword of Sauron casually, look at it. At this time, a gust of wind blew up. A leaf floats. Lin Mo chopped the bamboo sword towards the leaf. When the leaf fell to the ground intact, Sauron couldn't help complaining, a bamboo sword wants to cut off the leaf. How is this possible? Lin Mo smiled lightly, but did not explain anything. At this time, there was only a crackling sound, and not far from the leaves, a stone as tall as a man shattered and scattered all over the ground in an instant. Huh, Sauron was startled. What the hell happened? How did the stone break? In a quiet courtyard, the bright moonlight elongated the two small figures standing quietly in the courtyard at this moment. Lin Mo threw the bamboo sword back to Sauron. Sauron caught it in a hurry, his eyes full of shock. Could it be? Did you chop the stone into pieces? But you obviously didn't chop the stone. What happened just now? Lin Mo glanced at Sauron, the corners of his mouth slightly curled up, and said, "Listen up, Sauron, there are swordsmen in this world who can cut everything without interruption, but that kind of swordsman can cut everything in the world with the same knife. A truly powerful swordsman can protect what he wants to protect, and he can also cut everything he wants to cut. You still have a long way to learn, come on." After finishing speaking, Lin Mo patted Soren's shoulder lightly, then turned around and walked out of the courtyard. The evening wind blows, blowing the hair of the people who have gone away. Zorro stared blankly at his back, full of thoughts in his heart. Can it cut everything or cut everything in the world? If it was before, he definitely wouldn't believe that such a person existed. But just now, Lin Mo has already told him with practical actions that a truly powerful swordsman can indeed do this. With just an ordinary bamboo sword, it was possible to do this. Obviously he is about the same age. That guy is indeed a monster. Hey, what are you doing in the yard alone? At this moment, Kuina's slightly cold voice came over. When he came back to his senses, Sauron did not look at Kuina, but set his eyes on the gravel that was cut off by Lin Mo, with a serious expression and firm eyes, and said, "Kuina, that guy Lin Mo is really good. Strong." Kuina followed Soren's line of sight and saw the rubble on the ground. She immediately guessed that it was Lin Mo who did it, but she was not surprised at all. Cut. It's a waste to chop stones with the word he dao. No, Sauron picked up the bamboo sword that Lin Mo had just used. He used this sword. What? Kuina glanced at the bamboo sword in Soren's hand, a look of surprise flashed in her eyes. She said in disbelief, "Bamboo sword? He cut off a stone with a bamboo sword. How is this possible?" "It's true," Sauron said seriously. "Kuina, I probably understand why the teacher said those things to you." The other side. After Lin Mo left Yixin Dojo, he planned to go to the village tavern to taste the flavor of local wine. Although the taste of the wine Koshiro gave him was indeed special and enough for him to drink for a while, it didn't stop him from continuing to search for fine wine. However, when he came to the door of the only tavern in Shuangyu village, he happened to see the scene where the tavern owner closed the door. The tavern owner closed the door and locked it, wiped off his sweat, and was about to go home. When he turned around and saw Lin Mo, he was startled. When he saw a child in front of him, he asked angrily, "Hey, kid, why don't you come home so late? What are you doing here?" Lin Mo asked speechlessly, "Is it closed at night?" After being stunned for a moment, the tavern owner continued, "You are from a foreign country, right? My tavern is only open during the daytime. You have to buy wine for the adults at home, and come back after dawn." After speaking, the tavern owner left. Lin Mo didn't say much, and was going back to the Yixin Dojo. We stopped at a stall selling wine jugs. After thinking about it, he still chose one, and just after paying for it, he hung the newly bought wine gourd around his waist. Several people hidden under the dark green cloak passed behind him. This breath, Lin Mo turned his head and looked at those people. At the same time, the leader of the few people also looked back at him. The sights of Lin Mo and the leader met at this moment. The former looked the same, without a trace of wavering. A look of surprise flashed in the latter's eyes. The surrounding vendors placed lanterns for lighting, illuminating the faces of the people hidden in the shadows under the cloak. Especially seeing the red square tattoo on the other's left face, Lin Mo confirmed the identity of this person. It's Monkey D. Long, the leader of the Revolutionary Army, the son of the naval hero Garp, and the father of the future pirate King Luffy. "Hey, Dragon, what are you doing? We can't stay here for too long, it will be troublesome if you attract others' attention, hurry up." Walking beside the dragon, the man with a super big face tried to lower his voice to remind said a word. A companion behind him also murmured in a low voice, "Ivankov, your terrifying big face has already attracted the attention of others." "He hop, what did you say? Say it again." Ivankov turned around and gave a hammer. The person who was beaten had tears in his eyes and dared not speak out. Long retracted his gaze and continued to walk forward, the corners of his mouth slightly raised. Interesting. After a few minutes, the tea room in the backyard of Yixin Dojo. Koshiro was not surprised by these unexpected guests. I thought you guys would come in 2 days. Koshiro took a sip from his teacup and said with a smile, it seems that the plan is going well. It's okay. Long looked at the steaming teacup in front of him, picked it up and took a sip. This tea tastes good. Really, Koshiro, I want to drink. Ivankov yelled, you used to prepare good wine for us when we came here, why are you so stingy today? Koshiro smiled and shook his head. It's not that I don't want to prepare it for you, it's just that I gave away all the wine in my collection. Huh, it's a lie. Did you give it away? Ivankov said in surprise, I begged you so much before and refused to give me an extra bottle. Who is so shameless that it is worth giving away all the wine? It's that little ghost. Long continued to sip his tea, seemingly casually saying. Ivankov. Huh, brat, what brat, which brat? Koshiro asked in surprise, have you met Lin Mo? Ivankov. Lin Mo, who is it? The kid you just mentioned. I met him on the street just now. Long continued, he wears he Daoyi characters and a jug on his waist, and he is not afraid at all when he sees me. Moreover, I can tell that the boy's strength is not in GUIs. Under Na, it seems that you have accepted a good apprentice. Ivankov. I saw it on the street just now. Why didn't I see it? If only he was really my apprentice. Koshiro smiled regretfully. What? Long put down his teacup and looked at Koshiro in surprise, isn't he your apprentice? Koshiro nodded and said, I hope he can stay in the gym, but he doesn't want to stay. Ivankov. Hey, you two, didn't you hear me? Don't ignore people, hello. After a moment of silence, Long ignored Ivankov, looked at Koshiro and continued. You gave him the good wine and the words of peace that you have treasured for so long, and you are so sincere that you don't want to keep it. Why does he have to? Let's do it. Perhaps. Koshiro took another sip of tea. Actually, the words and wine of Wado were the spoils he won from Kuina. They can't be regarded as things I gave him. You already knew that he would win, and you even gave wine and famous swords as rewards for the winner, which is no different from giving away for nothing. Long just finished speaking. There was a sound of footsteps from far to near outside the corridor. Several people sitting in the tea room looked out of the open sliding door at the same time. They saw a small figure with 2 swords and a wine gourd hanging from his waist, walking past them indifferently. After seeing Long and his gang in the town, Lin Mo knew they must be looking for Koshiro. Long is the leader of the Revolutionary Army. The significance of the existence of the Revolutionary Army is to overthrow the unequal rule of the Tianlong people who dominate the world government. It is even regarded by world governments as the biggest threat to world stability. Judging from the current point of time, the Revolutionary Army should be in the preparatory stage and has not yet launched large-scale operations. As for the purpose of Long coming to Shuangyu village to find Koshiro this time, he can do whatever, anyway, it has nothing to do with him. It's just that to go back to the guest room that Koshiro prepared for him, he had to go through the tea room. Koshiro was the first to say hello. Lin Mo, are you out? Lin Mo turned his head and glanced at him, then nodded calmly, yeah. Long looked at him with interest. Ivankov couldn't help but rushed out of the tea room, and stared at Lin Mo almost face to face. You are the brat Long, and Koshiro said. I don't think it's very good. Hey, you two, did you make a mistake? Is this brat really capable of beating Kuina? Lin Mo pushed him away in disgust. Stay away from me. Huh. Ivankov took a few steps back feeling hurt, then clutched his heart, arched his waist and trembled. Ah, my heart, can't do it anymore, I'm going to die, dying. A few seconds later, Ivankov suddenly regained his energy, raised his hands high and laughed loudly. Hee-haw, I won't die. Koshiro smiled and gave him a knife. Ivan, Lin Mo has already left. Ah. Pausing, Ivankov looked in Lin Mo's direction, and sure enough, he had gone far away. Ivankov was hit like a bolt from the blue. The next second, he hugged his legs and sat against the wall. His whole body was immersed in a large shadow. That stinky brat really just left. Quote. Hee hee. Koshiro smiled. Ivan is still the same, very energetic. Yes. Long took a sip of tea, put down the cup, and asked suddenly, is that kid named Lin Mo really a child? Huh, what do you mean by that? His eyes and demeanor make him look like an adult with a lot of experience. I also feel what you said. But he is indeed just a child, and he is also a genius with amazing talent. Koshiro replied with a smile. His eyes flashed suddenly, and he asked, Dragon, do you believe in miracles? After a pause, Long asked inexplicably, Miracle? What do you mean? If you had come a few hours earlier, you would have understood what I mean. After finishing speaking, Koshiro drank another sip of tea, and the memory of Lin Mo's sudden increase in strength in front of him a few hours ago appeared in his mind, the scene where I felt a sense of oppression. The next day, it was just dawn. Lin Mo got up early. Just stepped out the door. A murderous figure rushed over from the side. Lin Mo sideways avoided speechlessly. He had already noticed this wave of attacks from someone waiting outside. Raising his hand with a hand blade, he knocked this overwhelmed guy to the ground. Ah! Sauron fell face down to the ground. Lin Mo didn't even look at him, and just walked past him. Sauron got up from the ground, and followed with 2 bamboo swords in his hands. Not only did he not lose his temper because of his defeat, but he was also very excited. Lin Mo, I remember what you said to me yesterday. There are many things I haven't figured out all night, but I won't give up. Sooner or later, I will fully understand what you said, and then surpass you and beat you. Lin Mo replied perfunctorily, Oh. Sauron continued, I'm serious. You may not pay attention to me now, but it doesn't matter, I will prove myself, I will take practical actions, and redouble my efforts to prove to you that I can do it. Quote. Lin Mo, it's so annoying, kid. Lin Mo continued to walk forward without a word. When passing the tea room, Koshiro's voice suddenly came out. Zoro, it's time for you to practice early. Suddenly stopping and following Lin Mo's footsteps, Sauron immediately bowed respectfully to Koshiro, it's the teacher. After finishing speaking, he ran to the dojo energetically. Lin Mo looked at Koshiro, who was drinking tea sitting upright in the tea room, and nodded, thank you. Koshiro smiled and said, you're welcome, are you going out? Ah, without further nonsense. After Lin Mo left the Yixin dojo, he entered the hills around Shuangyu village and started hunting daily. This is what he does every day. Fighting all kinds of powerful animals can not only improve his fighting skills, strengthen his physique, and increase his domineering proficiency, but he can also use the animals he hunted to exchange for Bailey to make money to buy wine and eat. 2 hours later, Lin Mo returned with a full load. And he distributed part of the meat he got from hunting to Yixin dojo. Then he came to the tavern in Frostmoon village with ease. It's similar to entering the tavern of Makino in Windmill village for the first time. As soon as he entered the door, all the drinkers laughed uproariously. Am I not mistaken? It looks like a kid has entered the tavern. Hey, kid, this is a tavern, you need to drink juice and buy it elsewhere, ha ha ha. Look, he still has 2 swords. Is he a student of Yixin dojo? I'm not practicing swords in the dojo at this time. Is he coming to the tavern to show us how to split swords? Ha 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 ha. Little ghost, this is not the place you should come to. Go back to the dojo and practice hacking, ha 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 ha. Lin Mo ignored these voices and came to the bar of the bar. Sit easily on the bar stools in front of the bar. He grabbed a handful of Baileys and put them on the bar, and wrote lightly, have a glass of the best wine here. Okay. The tavern owner wiped his wine glass and turned around with a smile. When he saw Lin Mo for the first time, he immediately recognized him. Huh. You are the kid from last night, right? Here, where is your adult? Didn't you come with you? Lin Mo didn't want to chat with him. He raised his hand and tapped on the bar table. The tavern owner looked down, smiled immediately, and put away the Baileys in front of Lin Mo's fingers. Can you drink at such a young age? It's amazing. As he spoke, the tavern owner quickly poured Lin Mo a glass of the shop's special sorghum wine. Lin Mo picked up the wine glass and took a sip. A strong mellow fragrance spread between the lips and teeth. Although it is a bit inferior to the wine sent by Koshiro, the overall taste is still good. Lin Mo expressed that he was quite satisfied, so he tore off the wine gourd hanging from his waist, put it on the bar, and at the same time took out some Baileys, full. The tavern owner nodded, took the money and took the wine gourd, and handed the wine gourd back to him after it was full. In just this moment, Lin Mo had already finished the glass of sorghum wine. The tavern owner saw that his face was not flushed, he was not out of breath, and he looked like he was fine, so he couldn't help giving him a thumbs up. I can't tell, he can drink so well at such a young age. At this time, at the gate of the tavern, a figure hurriedly pushed the door and entered. As soon as the visitor came in, he sat down at the table with the most people, as if he had just received hot news, and said excitedly, "Have you heard that? Kuina, who has never been defeated in Yixin Gymnasium, was defeated by a foreigner yesterday." "Already? What? Kuina actually lost to a foreigner? Really? Are you mistaken? Kuina is very strong. I remember that all the players who kicked the gym in the past few years seemed to be defeated by her. How could she lose? However, it's not surprising that she lost. After all, she is only 11 years old. There are still many adults who are stronger than her. Yeah, that's right, it's not a big deal to lose once, Kuina is still young. The one who wins her must be a very powerful adult." Although it was surprising that Kuina, who had never had a defeat, would lose, but everyone was relieved when they thought that the child was still young. However, the person who came to report shook his index finger, shook his head and said, "No, the one who defeated Guina was not some adult, but a little ghost with a wooden sword. I heard that the little ghost seemed to be bigger than Guyana. Na is still young." Just finished speaking, the noisy tavern suddenly fell silent. A few seconds later, there was a sound of shock. "What? The kid who was younger than Kuina defeated her? Are you sure it's true? How is this possible? How could Kuina lose to a brat? That brat must be cheating. Hey, we are not so easy to deceive, lie about this kind of false news, be careful we beat you." Seeing that everyone didn't believe it, the person who came to report said helplessly, "What I said is true, Kuina really lost to that brat, and she even gave her favorite knife to that brat." Liar. Guina treasures her knife, how could she give it to a kid from another country? That's right, there must be a mistake somewhere, we are not so easy to deceive. Just when everyone was arguing and arguing, Lin Mo hung the wine gourd full of wine on his waist, and jumped off the high stool. In front of everyone, he calmly walked towards the outside of the tavern step by step. The moment he pushed open the door of the tavern and just stepped out. I don't know who shouted, "Look at that kid's saber." All eyes were on Lin Mo. When they saw that there was really a wooden sword and a real sword hanging on Lin Mo's waist, especially the real sword was very familiar to them, all of them widened their eyes, and their faces all looked like hell, the color of horror. Huh, isn't that Kuina's sword? Really, Kuina actually lost to a kid who was younger than her. What's the origin of that kid? It's amazing to be able to defeat Kuina, who has no defeat at all. Ah, I laughed at him just now, he won't hold grudges, right? Completely ignoring the noise behind him, Lin Mo left the tavern without looking back. For the next few hours, the news that Kuina in the Yixin dojo was defeated by a foreign kid spread throughout Shuangyu village. Lin Mo originally wanted to complete the sign-in task in a low-key manner, and then leave quietly. Fortunately, he became the focus of Shuangyu village all of a sudden. In order to avoid trouble, it seems that I will have to walk less in the village in the future. Lin Mo went straight back to the Yixin dojo. Just walked into the backyard. Sauron ran towards him excitedly. "Lin Mo," Sauron excitedly said, "I heard that you went hunting in the mountains this morning. Did you go to cultivate? The next time you go to the mountains, take me with you." Lin Mo. Again, this annoying guy. Lin Mo walked past Sauron speechlessly. Sauron didn't care about Lin Mo's indifference at all. Instead, he chased him like a dog's skin plaster and continued to pester him. "I have finished my basic training today, why don't we go to the mountains to practice now?" Regarding Soren's enthusiasm, Lin Mo's response was still ignorance. Seeing that the other party still ignored him, Sauron still followed relentlessly. "Lin Mo, didn't you say that you want to see the tricks? It's useless to think about it, and you have to fight with people who are stronger than you. Understand it? So, I have decided, besides challenging Kuina every day, I also want to fight with you." Lin Mo suddenly stopped in his tracks. The heart is extremely resistant. "Don't look for me." Zoro then stopped, with a dazed look on his face. "Why?" Lin Mo said directly, "No time." "Huh?" Sauron asked in surprise. "Sure enough, you still think I'm too weak and don't want to fight with me?" Lin Mo was too lazy to explain. "That's right." After finishing speaking, he continued to move forward. Sauron looked at Lin Mo's back, tightened the bamboo sword he held in both hands, hesitated for a while, then rushed towards him with a loud shout. If you don't fight me, I will keep attacking you, I will definitely let you draw your sword. Ha, accept it. He felt the murderous aura getting closer behind him. Lin Mo didn't turn his head back, and dodged a few times left and right, easily dodging all of someone's attacks. Then when someone rushed in front of him, he punched him and sent him flying into the yard. He glanced at the person who had fallen to the ground tens of meters away and tried to get up but couldn't get up. Now let's see how you follow. Lin Mo smiled lightly and continued walking forward. When passing by the tea room, Koshiro's voice came from it. Lin Mo, come in and have a drink, let me introduce someone to you. Pausing in his footsteps, Lin Mo turned his head to look. At this moment, the one sitting opposite Koshiro was the dragon who came last night. Long's identity should not be underestimated, but it was no accident that he appeared in Shuangyu village at this time. Maybe contacting this guy can trigger the completion of the task progress. After thinking about it, Lin Mo stepped into the tea room and sat down directly beside Koshiro. Koshiro smiled and asked, do you want some tea? No, I have wine. After speaking, Lin Mo picked up his wine gourd, uncorked it, and took a sip. Koshiro introduced with a smile. Lin Mo, this is my friend Long. Lin Mo nodded and said politely, hello. Long asked with interest, how old are you? Lin Mo said casually, 10 years old. You can drink well. Long said with a smile that was not a smile, I heard from Koshiro that your swordsmanship is good. Fortunately, it's really modest. Long looked at Lin Mo carefully, and continued, although it only showed a little bit, just now, you used your knowledge to avoid that kid's attack, right? Hearing this, Lin Mo looked up at him, and said calmly, that's right. Originally, this was not a secret that could not be told. Sure enough, you are more interesting than I imagined. However, I always feel that there seems to be something missing. After finishing speaking, Long hooked the corner of his mouth, his face suddenly changed, and a golden glow burst out in his eyes. Immediately afterwards, a powerful aura spread out around him, instantly covering the small tea room. From the moment he saw Lin Mo in Murakami last night, Long realized that this child was not simple. At only 10 years old, he has the swordsmanship that can instantly kill Kuina, especially since he showed a little bit of knowledge just now. It can be seen that this child's talent is indeed quite good, and he is a good seed. But he always felt that something was missing, and he always felt that this kid's strength was more than that. So he decided to use domineering to test Lin Mo's details. When Koshiro realized that Long was testing Lin Mo with his domineering aura, his face froze immediately. Long, Lin Mo is still a child. Don't worry, I know. Long stared at Lin Mo. Lin Mo looked directly into Long's sharp eyes without fear. The moment he felt that the other party released his arrogance to test him, there was nothing more to say between them. Even if the dragon's temptations are just the tip of the iceberg, there is no malice. Silently plug the wine gourd. Lin Mo narrowed his eyes slightly. Immediately afterwards, an equally powerful aura was released from him, colliding with the domineering aura released by the dragon. A powerful wave of air gushed out horizontally when the overlord domineering energy collided, and there was only a bang, crack, and the tea table in front of the three of them shattered into countless pieces in an instant, and even the walls around the tea room were shattered. Numerous dense cracks were formed by this extremely destructive air wave. Both Lin Mo and Long didn't output at all. Interesting, it really didn't disappoint me. The smile on the corner of Long's mouth was getting stronger, and he was about to increase the output of domineering arrogance, wanting to see Lin Mo's maximum tolerance. At this time, Koshiro suddenly grabbed a person's shoulder with one hand, stopped them in time, and said in an unhappy tone, okay, are you two trying to destroy my dojo? Stop it. Although I was surprised that Lin Mo also had a domineering look, but now is not the time to be surprised. The collision showdown between Overlord Color and Domineering Chi is no joke. If you are not careful, you may destroy the entire gymnasium, or even the entire Frost Moon village. He could see that neither of these two people had exerted their full strength, and they were only tentatively exchanging ideas, which had such a great destructive power. If they were not stopped, the tea room would be destroyed. If they were injured, they were training in the gymnasium children, that would be miserable. Koshiro's words made both of them withdraw their arrogance at the same time. Long said apologetically, "I'm sorry, I couldn't hold back for a while." Koshiro sighed helplessly. "The two of you really don't make people worry. What's the difference between an adult and a child?" "Ha." Long smiled, turned to look at Lin Mo, and asked, "Lin Mo, do you know the Revolutionary Army?" Lin Mo stared at the dragon speechlessly. He knows. This guy, isn't he going to throw an olive branch at him? Before Lin Mo could answer, Long continued, "This is a world where the fittest survive and the fittest are eliminated. There are too many wastes in power, and many powerless people are devastated. The existence of the Revolutionary Army is to subvert and rule the world. The unequal rule of Fu's Tianlong people liberates those who are oppressed and makes this world more harmonious, equal and free." After a short pause, Long continued, "I heard from Koshiro that you want to be a traveler. What's so good about being a traveler? It's a waste of your talents. Why don't you join the Revolutionary Army and join me in overthrowing this decaying society? The world is bright, how about it? It's not that good." Lin Mo said bluntly, "Whether it's the Revolutionary Army or the Navy pirates, I'm not interested. I just want to be an unfettered free traveler. How righteous it is has nothing to do with me." Lin Mo just finished speaking. Didi, fighting against the leader of the Revolutionary Army, Dragon, the sign in progress is plus 10%, the current total progress is 60%, and the Overlord color domineering level is rewarded plus 1, and the current Overlord color level is LV3. Single quote. In an instant, Lin Mo's whole temperament rose a lot with the increase of domineering. Before Lin Mo could be happy, the system notification sounded again in his mind. Didi, if you reject the invitation from the leader of the Revolutionary Army, Long, the sign in progress will be plus 10%, and the current total progress is 70%. Single quote. After being stunned for a moment, Lin Mo couldn't help being overjoyed. The sign in progress has actually increased by 20%. It seems that my thinking is correct. The appearance of the dragon is not accidental. As expected, contacting this guy will trigger the completion of the sign in task. However, after increasing the sign in progress twice in a row, only one sign in reward was given. After thinking about it carefully, an idea appeared in his mind. The rewards obtained by signing into the task should be related to the characters in contact, and a related character can only get the reward once. The expressions of Long and Koshiro suddenly became dignified at the moment when Lin Mo's domineering spirit rose. A thought flashed in the minds of both of them at the same time: this kid has become stronger. Obviously he didn't do anything, but just a little domineering and colliding with each other just now. The strength of this brat has improved inexplicably. Is it an epiphany? Long's eyes on Lin Mo gradually changed from admiration to longing. He now understands the meaning of what Koshiro told him last night, that Lin Mo is a miracle. This kid has such amazing talent and strength at the age of 10, and he will definitely become a key figure who can turn any situation around in the future. If he is missed, it will definitely be the biggest loss for the Revolutionary Army. Thinking of this, Long couldn't help but said, "You want to be free and unrestrained, I can understand, but you are only 10 years old after all, and you are still a child. It is too dangerous to travel alone. Joining the Revolutionary Army, at least in the until you fully grow, we can temporarily act as your umbrella." No, Lin Mo's attitude remained the same. "I don't need an umbrella, and I won't join any camp. No matter how much you say, it's useless. Lin Mo, I'll go first." Lin Mo got up and interrupted Long's words, and left the messy tea room directly. Koshiro didn't stop him. The dragon's head hurt and said, "What a brat who can't make money." "Ha." Koshiro said with a smile, "Lin Mo is a kid with his own ideas, and it's not that easy to convince him." Yard. Sauron, who was punched flying by Lin Mo, fell right in front of the door of the tea room. When he got up from the ground after crawling a few times with sore body, he just complained it's really hard to strike. When he looked at the tea room with the door open, he happened to witness the scene where Long and Lin Mo collided domineeringly. Sauron was shocked and froze in place. It wasn't until Lin Mo came out of the tea room as if nothing had happened that he came back to his senses. Looking at Lin Mo's receding back, Soren's eyes flickered. The hand holding the bamboo sword tightened involuntarily. The next day, Lin Mo left Yixin Dojo early in the morning and went to the valley around Shuangyu village for daily hunting training. Only this time he was followed by a little tail, whose tracking skills were indescribable. Although Soren's talent and strength are not as good as Guina's, he is definitely the one who wakes up the earliest and sleeps the latest in the gym, and has the most training. As usual now, he should practice basic skills in the dojo. But today, he decided to secretly follow Lin Mo into the mountains to practice. Looking at the person who was walking faster and faster, walking towards the depths of the valley, 100 meters away. With firm eyes, Sauron said softly, "If you don't take me there, I'll follow by myself." However, a few minutes later, when he chased the person who was farther and farther away from him out of breath at the fastest speed, and finally lost him, not only did he not feel discouraged at all, but became even more excited. As expected of Lin Mo, the speed is so fast, I can't even catch up with him, it's too powerful. I will definitely catch up with you tomorrow. In fact, Lin Mo had already discovered that Sauron was following him, and he just didn't want to be harassed, so he dumped him. After hunting, Lin Mo returned to Yixin Dojo with his prey. This afternoon, Lin Mo came to the tavern with an empty flagon. Just got in. The crowd was full of people. The kid who defeated Kuina is here. Little devil, how did you defeat Kuina? Let me hear it. His name seems to be Lin Mo. I haven't seen you before. Which village are you from? Hey, don't ignore us, did you come to Shuangyu village by yourself? Lin Mo came to the bar in silence, and put a handful of Baileys and an empty wine gourd on the bar. It's full. The tavern owner smiled awkwardly. Okay, wait a moment. When he filled Lin Mo's wine gourd and handed it back to him, he took advantage of the situation and asked, "Little ghost, have you already joined Koshiro's sect?" Lin Mo replied casually, "No." Carrying the wine gourd full of wine, he left the tavern calmly amidst the voices of dissatisfaction from everyone. The tavern owner smiled helplessly. What a kid with personality. Go back to the dojo. When passing the training ground, Kuina suddenly stopped him. Lin Mo, let's compete again. The last time she was defeated, she also lost He Dao Yiwen, which hit her hard. Although very unwilling, but the gap in strength was there, and she had to accept it. But that doesn't mean she's giving up. Therefore, Kuina decided to continue to challenge Lin Mo. She didn't believe that she could keep losing. Compared to the warlike Kuina, Lin Mo didn't have the leisure to waste time fighting her here. He walked past her without saying a word. He rejected Kuina's invitation to fight with actions. Seeing that the other party ignored her, Ji Yuyina immediately chased after her. Lin Mo, I am seriously challenging you, why are you ignoring me? Then, the answer to Kuina was still silence. Lin Mo didn't intend to talk to her. You fool. Kuina suddenly lost her temper. Kuina. At this time, Sauron appeared in time to stop Kuina, who was going to settle accounts with Lin Mo. Let's compete again. I want to compete with Lin Mo, get out of the way. Sauron continued. If he wants to compete with you, he has already entered the dojo. It is useless for you to pester him. He was deeply touched, so he dared to say this. Pausing in her footsteps, Kuina's complexion was not good. She clenched the bamboo sword in her hand, and stared at Lin Mo's back unwillingly. After a long time, she turned around and walked back. Chapter 11. Sauron stood still. Kuina gritted her teeth and said, Why are you still standing there? Aren't you going to fight me? Well, here we come. Sauron immediately followed. A competition is over in a few minutes. The result was still the same as before, and Kuina won in the end. But this time, Zoro took several moves from Kuina in a row, and even almost hit the opponent once. If it were him 2 days ago, there would be no chance of hitting her. Is it a coincidence, or did this guy improve his sword skills in 2 days? Kuina felt more and more uncomfortable. She has seen Soren's hard work this year. In order not to let the other party surpass her, she has also been very strict with herself this year. When others can't see it, she also redoubles her efforts to improve herself. Even so, every time she made a move, she could still feel that Sauron was slowly approaching her, and the distance between them was getting shorter and shorter. It used to grow slowly, but in the past 2 days, this guy's sword skills have obviously improved to a higher level than before. Could it be that someone is guiding him? Kuina put away the bamboo sword and stared at the person she knocked down to the ground with a complicated expression. Sauron got up from the dojo floor, patted the dust off his body, remained silent without speaking, and began to replay the moves that Kuina had just made in his mind. If it were him before, it would be impossible to do such a thing. Koshiro walked over and said with a smile, "You lost again, Sauron. Obviously you have really become stronger, especially the improvement in the past 2 days has been really great." As soon as Koshiro finished speaking, other children from the dojo rushed over. "Teacher, you shouldn't give Kuina a secret special training just because she is your daughter." "Too rambunctious," Koshiro said helplessly. No, I won't do that kind of thing. Sauron has indeed become stronger, but Kuina has also become stronger and stronger. I'm going to wash my face." Sauron didn't stay in the dojo for too long, turned around and walked to the backyard. After washing his face, he made a decision to challenge Kuina one last time tonight. That night, when Kuina passed by the tea room that Koshiro had temporarily repaired, she heard something that shocked her. Her father, Koshiro, believes that it is impossible for a girl to become the world's #1 swordsman. Although she herself knew that as a girl, some of the prerequisites for becoming a swordsman might not be as good as boys, but she just didn't want to believe it, and she just refused to accept it. Why can't girls become the #1 in the world? Sitting beside the village field road, Kuina was silent and wanted to digest her emotions alone. At this time, Sauron came. "What are you doing here?" Sauron asked. Kuina wiped her nose with a handkerchief, and asked, "I just wanted to ask you, it's so late, what are you doing here?" "I'm here for the 2001st duel with you. This is the last duel between me and you," Sauron said seriously. "To finish it off, fight me with a real sword." Kuina froze for a moment, then hooked the corner of her mouth. "Okay." Originally, she was going to fight Sauron with the words of Hidaui, but now she can only borrow other people's knives to PK with Sauron. On an empty meadow, the two stood facing each other, ready to fight. There was a gust of wind. Zoro held 2 real swords and attacked Kuina first. The two went back and forth many times, and whenever Kuina was about to defeat Sauron, the latter would always find a way clumsily and escape dangerously. Ha! Kuina discovered Soren's flaws, and immediately rushed over, from bottom to top, trying to fly the 2 knives in Soren's hands, who looked very tired. As if knowing in advance that Kuina would make this move, Zoro subconsciously took half a step back. The real knife is much heavier than the bamboo sword, and he also took 2 real knives, and the physical exertion was much greater than that of Kuina. Since one cannot use physical strength and strength to defeat the opponent, one can only use sword skills or see through the opponent's moves to find flaws and reverse the outcome of the duel. This subconscious retreat allowed Sauron to successfully dodge Kuina's blow in a fraction of a second. At the same time, under the astonished sight of the opponent, for the first time, he discovered the opponent's flaw. Without hesitation, Sauron immediately grabbed the knife and slashed at Kuina's arm with the back of the knife. A hint of disbelief flashed in Kuina's eyes. She reacted immediately, blocked the blow in time, and then swung again, finally flying Soren's sword. Sauron fell to the ground gasping for breath. Although she won, Kuina was not happy at all. Just now, if she was slow to react for half a second, she would lose. Sauron is really catching up. Didi. To change the fate of Kuina's death, sign in progress plus 10%. The current total progress is 80%. Reward swordsmanship level plus 1. The current swordsmanship level is LV5. Single quote. Lin Mo was drinking in the room when a system notification sounded in his mind, making him pause involuntarily. Immediately afterwards, a more powerful sword energy spread out from him, stirring in the small room. He even calmed down and could feel the breath of everything around him. His strength has become stronger again. Lin Mo couldn't help but look at the words Hidaui placed aside. In the original work of One Piece, Kuina fell down the stairs and died because she was looking for the whetstone of the Japanese characters. Now the knife belongs to him. Then, Kuina has no reason to look for the whetstone again, and thus avoids the danger of falling to her death. It seems that the task of Shuangyu village will be completed soon. Lin Mo continued to drink wine in a good mood. The man was sitting in the room, and he felt happy coming from the sky. Back to half an hour ago. Kuina narrowly defeated Sauron. Sauron lay on the grass, covering his face unwillingly. It was just a little bit, so unwilling. Kuina stared at him sullenly. I'm not reconciled. Zoro let go of his hand and looked at Kuina. Kuina continued. When a girl grows up, she will be weaker than a boy. You have already caught up, and I will be defeated by you soon. Sauron, you often say that, to become the strongest swordsman in the world, father told me that a girl can't be a girl. I understand, I have understood this kind of thing a long time ago, but I am not reconciled. Sauron is so kind, because you are a boy, I also want to become the strongest swordsman in the world. If I can be a boy. Sauron got up from the grass, and the more he listened, the more angry he became. You have defeated me, so don't complain anymore, this is too despicable. You are the target I have always wanted to defeat. What kind of man and woman are you? When I really beat you, do you want to say the same? It seems that I did not win by my own strength. Then, now that I am working so hard for special training, don't I look like an idiot? Don't say it again, such words. Kuina looked at Sauron with tears in her eyes. Sauron approached her, gritted his teeth and said, promise me, one day, it will be either me or you, and you must become the strongest swordsman in the world. Looking at Sorin's firm gaze, Kuina was stunned for a moment, and then said in relief, idiot, you are obviously weaker than me. Then it's settled. Sauron held out his hand to her and insisted, but before we become the strongest swordsman, let's compare to see who can defeat Linmo first. Kuina's eyes flickered, she stretched out her hand to hold Sorin's hand, and said with a smile, okay, it's settled. Just wait and see, I must be the one who defeats him first. The next day, Linmo usually got up early in the morning to go hunting in the valley. The little tail behind him changed from 1 to 2. Moreover, the two guys, as if they had made an agreement, tried to confront him one after another from time to time, and after being rejected, they still didn't give up and even learned to sneak attack. Although he was beaten to the ground by Linmo every time. It was the same for the next few days, no matter how many times Linmo beat them down. But it didn't wipe out their enthusiasm at all. They still enjoyed it every day, doing the same thing relentlessly. Koshiro saw it, but he was always smiling, and he had no intention of stopping his daughter and disciples at all. It was a tacit consent to his 2 pairs of Linmo's stocking. This evening, when Linmo beat Sauron and Kuina to the ground for the nth time in the backyard of the gymnasium, Koshiro smiled and waved to Linmo in the corridor, Linmo, come here. Linmo glanced at him. The dragon is there too. It looked as if the dragon was leaving. Linmo walked over. Long smiled and said, I've stayed here for too long this time, I should go. Oh, Linmo responded casually. Long continued, are you sure you don't think about going with me anymore? Linmo said directly, I don't think about it. Seeing that Linmo really didn't care at all, Long had no choice but to give up the solicitation temporarily. Well, since you don't want to, I won't force it. If you encounter any troubles in the future, you can come to Brother Baldy to find me. Bardigo is the base of the Revolutionary Army. Linmo nodded complacently. Long smiled, turned to look at Koshiro, and said without hesitation, thank you for raising the food this time. Koshiro smiled and said, it doesn't matter, what are your plans for the future? This place is not far from the windmill village of Goya Kingdom. You haven't been back for a long time, do you want to go back and have a look? No, Long shook his head and said, it's not the time yet, let's talk about it later. Koshiro nodded and said, okay, just let me know in advance when you come next time. Okay, Long responded without saying anything more, and left Shuangyu village before night fell. In the original plot, Luffy didn't know who his father was until he passed through the capital of 7 Waters located on the Great Route. Long is a very cautious person who will not easily expose his weaknesses, so very few people know his life experience, even his trusted subordinates in the Revolutionary Army don't know that he has a son. The conversation just now, although Koshiro didn't say it clearly. But it is not difficult to see that Koshiro is one of the very few people who knows the root of the dragon. This can be seen. The relationship between the two is indeed extraordinary. However, no matter what, Linmo is not interested, he is only interested in completing the sign-in-progress task and wine. It's okay, I'll go first. Linmo was about to go back to his room to drink. Koshiro stopped him again. There is a party in the village tonight, do you want to go and see it? No, Linmo directly refused. At this time, Zoro and Kuina trotted over. Sauron excitedly said, Shuangyu Village will hold a lively party at the end of every month. It's fun. Lin Mo, let's go to the party together. Guina said arrogantly. I don't like shopping very much, but if you go, I can reluctantly accompany you. Lin Mo refused. I'm not interested, I won't go. Koshiro smiled and said, in the evening, many villagers will bring out their own homemade wine for sale. Each family has a unique taste. This is not something you can buy in taverns. Hearing this, Lin Mo stopped walking towards the room. Koshiro looked at Zoro and Kuina. What are you still doing? The two looked at each other and smiled, and immediately grabbed Lin Mo's arm from left to right, and pulled him out. Aunt Sugimoto's home-brewed wine should be pretty good. Guina recommended. Uncle Long's friend is that uncle who has a super big face and looks a little scary. Whenever he comes to the village, he will go to Aunt Sugimoto's house to buy it. Drinking wine, usually, her family's wine is not sold to outsiders, because Uncle Long and my father have a good relationship, so the auntie will make a special case to sell some to them when it is not the party day. Is the wine really that good? Zoro asked inexplicably. I drank it secretly before, and it tastes better than juice. Lin Mo pulled his arm out of the holding hands of Sauron and Kuina, and said speechlessly, why are you two so thick-skinned? Sauron grinned and said, no, do you have any misunderstandings about me and Kuina? Lin Mo, Kuina said with a smile. Actually, Lin Mo, you ignore us and knock us down every time you return a blow. You are training us, right? Lin Mo, no really no. Sauron continued. My reaction ability and ability to resist blows are much better than before, thanks to Lin Mo's teaching. Lin Mo, forehead, when did I teach you this? Kuina continued. I've always wanted to ask, many times. Sauron and I attacked you at the same time, and you didn't see us at all, so why can you escape all our attacks? That's right. Sauron nodded quickly. I've always wanted to know this too. Lin Mo, just tell us how you did it. Facing the series of questions from Sauron and Kuina, Lin Mo said that he didn't want to bother with them at all. This is indeed the case. No matter how coquettish and cute the two are, Lin Mo just ignores them. There was really no other way, and Kuina suddenly thought of an idea. Lin Mo, as long as you tell us, I will take out all the pocket money I have saved over the years to buy you wine, how about it? Not so good, Lin Mo said speechlessly. No, I have money myself. Don't be so stingy, Sauron muttered. Speaking of which, the three of them had come to the busiest night market street in Shuangyu Village. The streets are full of hawking sounds, people coming and going, very lively. Lin Mo was still calm. Sauron and Guina blushed, looking around, very excited. Sure enough, a child is a child. There, Guina pointed to a row of middle-aged women on the left side of the street, who used a cart as a stall and was selling. That's Aunt Sugimoto. The wine made by her family is the best and most sold. Hurry up, if we come a little later, it will probably be sold out. As soon as we were talking, many people had gathered around the small cart and started queuing up to buy the few drinks. The three of Lin Mo went immediately and were at the end of the line. Go and play by yourself. Lin Mo didn't want these two guys to follow him all the time. Kuina smiled and said, Aunt Sugimoto's wine is limited. One person can only buy a small jar. Zoro and I can buy you 2 more jars here. Kuina's voice just fell. A group of vicious-looking people pushed aside the crowd very roughly and came to Sugimoto's booth. The leader was a tall, long-faced man with a cross scar on his forehead and a sword on his waist. It's Sig the Bandit. He is the one who poured wine on the head of one of the future 4 emperors, the red-haired Shanks. Although the situation at the time was that Shanks had a big heart and didn't care about him. Judging from the current point of time, Seeger and his group should not have gone to Windmill Village and haven't met Red Hair and them. There are so many people in line, it seems that the wine is good, I want all of this car. Seeger said proudly. The surrounding villagers stepped back in fear. Yes, but the wine in my house is limited, and one person can only buy a small jar. Sugimoto asked nervously, if you want to buy it, can you go in line? Line up, Sig sneered. I'm a bounty criminal with 800 million Baileys, you want me to line up? Sugimoto was so frightened that he almost cried, and the villagers dared not speak out. Bounty offenders with 800 million Baileys, that's not a joke, these helpless villagers dare not provoke them. Zoro and Kuina touched the bamboo sword they were wearing at the same time. Kuina's cold voice suddenly sounded. I don't care how many Bailey's bounty criminals you are, this is Frostmoon Village, and you won't be allowed to mess around. Exactly. Sauron tightly clenched his two bamboo swords, we will not let you run rampant here. Seeger tilted his head to look at Lin Mo and the others, and sneered. The younger brothers behind him laughed even more presumptuously. Ha ha ha, how dare these brats come here to find trouble, I really don't know what to do. Before our boss is not angry yet, get out. Our boss is a man who is going to become the king of bandits, all those who are sensible, get away. Looking at the arrogant Sig and his group, Sauron asked in a low voice, Gwyna, can we beat them? Yuna glanced at Lin Mo who didn't say a word, took a deep breath, and responded, if you can't beat them, you have to beat them. We can't let them do whatever they want in Shuangyu village. Hey, Gwyna stared at Sig coldly, and mocked, aren't you just a group of bullying bandits, what bandit kings? I think you are just a group of black sheep who only know how to bully the weak. I won't let you are acting recklessly here. What? Sig frowned slightly. Seeing this, Sugimoto said anxiously, Gwyna, stop talking, you guys go away. Although Gwyna's swordsmanship is one of the best in Yixin Dojo, many adults can't beat her, but she is still a child after all, how can she beat a vicious bandit with a bamboo sword? The surrounding villagers were very worried, and tried to persuade Gwyna and the others not to provoke Sig anymore. Want to leave? Sig pulled out the saber at his waist and pointed the tip of the sword at Gwyna's forehead. If you want to leave, you can leave one arm. Gwyna clenched her teeth. Sauron suddenly pulled her behind, and pointed at Sig with two bamboo swords in his hands. Gwyna, stand back, I will be this guy's opponent. Gwyna dissatisfied. Idiot, you are weaker than me, I should be his opponent. Ha ha, Sig laughed. It's really touching. Two people are vying to die. Well, I'll let you die together. Sig just finished speaking. Lin Mo suddenly said, aren't you queuing up? The surrounding villagers were silent, and no one dared to speak. Not speaking is the default. Lin Mo looked at Sig. You came late, you have to wait behind me. After finishing speaking, Lin Mo calmly walked past Sig. The surrounding villagers gasped. All eyes fell on Lin Mo who had come to the cart full of drinks. Lin Mo asked, how much is a pot? Sugimoto was stunned for a moment, and responded instinctively, 50 Baileys per jar. Lin Mo casually took out 2 Baileys and handed them to Sugimoto. Then he took a jar of wine, opened the cork, and took a sip in front of everyone. Not bad. Lin Mo nodded in affirmation. Seeger's face was livid, and he stared fiercely at Lin Mo. Lin Mo ignored him, and looked at Sauron and Gwyna who were also in a daze. You two, aren't you going to help me buy wine? The two were stunned for a moment, then immediately put down the bamboo swords in their respective hands, and trotted over. Sig put his sword on Lin Mo's neck, and said in an unhappy tone, Hey, brat, who allowed you to buy wine? Lin Mo glanced at him, and said in a flat tone, Take the sword away. To everyone's surprise, Sig actually moved the sword away. But in the next second, a fierce light appeared in his eyes, and he slashed at Lin Mo's neck with a sword. Ah, run, Lin Mo. It's over, the child is going to die. Who will save this child? Koshiro, where is Mr. Koshiro? Is it too late to invite him over now? In the ears are the voices of the villagers who were worried. Sauron and Gwyna couldn't help but sweat. As for Lin Mo himself, when Sig's sword was about to hit him, he took half a step back. The tip of the sword swept half a centimeter before his throat. The corners of Seeger's mouth twitched slightly. When had he been so weakened? And still by a brat. Now, he is angry. Little devil, you are looking for death. Sig raised his sword viciously, ready to chop Lin Mo down. Lin Mo still ignored him, and looked sideways at Sauron and Gwyna. Buy wine. Really, I still want to drink at any time. Having said that, Gwyna paid the money obediently, and picked up a jar of wine with Zoro. Sig the bandit had never been so humiliated. Every sword he slashed contained great anger and murderous aura. Even so, Lin Mo easily dodged all his attacks. I really can't hit Lin Mo. Sig's attention shifted to Sauron and Gwyna who were holding the wine jar. Without further ado, Sig immediately shifted his target and slashed at Sauron who was closest to him. Sauron subconsciously took 2 steps back, but he was still within Sig's attack range. Oops, Soren's face was ugly, and he wanted to draw his sword, but he was holding the wine jar with both hands, and he couldn't draw his sword to resist. Go to hell. Seeger was furious. Kuina wanted to help Sauron, but she was holding the wine jar and couldn't do it. Just when Sig's sword was about to hit Sauron, Lin Mo suddenly appeared in front of Sauron, pulled out the word Hidao, and cut Sig's saber in half with just one blow. It doesn't matter if Sauron is injured or not. He just didn't want his wine to be smashed. But in the eyes of Sauron and Gwyna, it has a completely different meaning. Sauron said excitedly, I knew that you would not ignore my safety. You are indeed the person I admire. Lin Mo. Sig stared at Lin Mo's words of Hidao, which cut off his sword. The knife gave him an unusual feeling. Seeger suddenly changed his attitude. Little devil, I have changed my mind, give me your knife, and I will let you go. No, Kuina was the first to be unwilling. You can't believe the bandits' words, Lin Mo, and Daoyi words can't be given to them. Oh, it turned out to be the words of Hidao. Seeger's eyes lit up, and his eyes were full of greed when he stared at Lin Mo. It's a waste of you kid to use such a good knife, quickly give me the words of Hidao. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude. After finishing speaking, Seeger threw his broken sword at Sugimoto's cart, smashing several jars of wine. At the same time, his men have surrounded Lin Mo and others. Lin Mo frowned slightly. Some feel sorry for those good wines that are sold in limited quantities. One Heart Dojo. Koshiro is drinking tea with friends in the tea room. The two chatted happily. At this time, a villager came anxiously. Mr. Koshiro, come with me quickly, a group of bandits have come to the village and are provoking trouble. Bandit. Koshiro put down the teacup in his hand, got up immediately, and asked, where is the bandit now? The villagers quickly replied, it's on Sugimoto's side. Sugimoto. Koshiro paused, are Lin Mo, Kuina and Zoro there? The villagers nodded and said, yes, but they are still children, and they are still too weak to face the vicious bandits. Mr. Koshiro, let's go. It's okay. Koshiro knelt down again, and said with a smile, since Lin Mo is here, there is no need to worry. The villagers were confused. Even Koshiro's friend's face was full of worry. Mr. Koshiro, do you really not need to go? No need. Koshiro smiled and picked up the teacup that had just been put down not long ago. Don't worry, nothing will happen. Back to Lin Mo. Facing the intimidation of the bandit Sig, Lin Mo felt nothing at all. It's even boring. But the surrounding villagers didn't think so. Everyone is anxious. Lin Mo, give him the knife quickly. There is no need to lose your life just because of a knife. That's right, you're still young, you can't beat so many bandits, you'd better be obedient and hand over the knife, and save your life first. Little ghost, don't hesitate, bandits are not good people, they will really kill you. Sauron became more and more annoyed as he listened, and shouted to the surrounding villagers unhappily, don't underestimate Lin Mo, he is very powerful. The bandits laughed. Ha ha ha, isn't it just to avoid our boss's attack a few times to be powerful? It's ridiculous. I was able to cut off the boss's sword just now, and it's just that you used famous knives. Kid, if you don't want to die, you should quickly hand over the knives. Lin Mo glanced around in silence, and there were more than 40 people from Seeger's group. It seems that if we don't solve them, we can't leave. It's really annoying. He obviously didn't want to do it. Forget it, anyway, the wine is also bought, so let's go back to the dojo early. Lin Mo didn't speak. Sig thought he was afraid, and proudly said, you are good at skills, obey me obediently, and I can consider letting you join my Sig bandits. Lin Mo was too lazy to talk nonsense with him. His eyes flashed. A powerful sword force emanated from him. Just as Sig had just finished speaking that sentence arrogantly, Lin Mo's figure flashed and appeared behind Sig. Then calmly put the words Hidao into the sheath slowly. Sig turned to look at him in disbelief. When the words of Hidao were fully sheathed, immediately, 2 extremely long knife marks appeared on Sig's body, and the blood couldn't stop gushing out. The surrounding villagers all looked dumbfounded. Sig's eyes widened. Before he finished speaking, he fell to the ground, unconscious. Boss, are you all right? Seeger's men hurriedly surrounded him to check on Seeger's injuries. You actually hurt the boss so badly. Little devil, you are finished. Suffer to death. Seeger's men yelled and rushed towards Lin Mo. Lin Mo gave a look. Everyone stopped in their tracks, rolled their eyes, and fell into one piece. You can't control yourself. Lin Mo held the wine jar, and shouted at Sauron and Kuina, who were already startled from ear to ear, let's go. Ah, here we come. Zoro responded blankly, and looked at Kuina who hadn't slowed down yet. Hey, Kuina, come back to your senses, it's time to go. Ah, oh. Yuna shook her head, trying to wake herself up a bit, and looked at Lin Mo's back, her body trembling slightly. Lin Mo is very strong, she knows it. But she didn't expect to be so strong. She even had a sense of fear that she might never win him. Hi, Kuina. Sauron called her again. He could see Kuina's state, and he knew roughly what Kuina was thinking. Although he was also frightened by Lin Mo's strength. Don't think too much about it. Sauron continued, let's go back to the dojo first. Kuina nodded. Holding Lin Mo's wine, the two immediately chased after him. Wherever Lin Mo reached, the villagers consciously gave way. When Lin Mo and the others left, the villagers slowly calmed down. My God, who the hell is Lin Mo? How could one person kill the entire bandit group in seconds? Is he really just a child? It's terrible. When this child grows up, he might be stronger than Mr. Koshiro. Don't talk about growing up. I think in a year or two, he may surpass Mr. Koshiro. Anyway, it's a good thing that Lin Mo's child is here, otherwise we will suffer a great loss. That's right. What about these bandits? What else can we do? Throw them out of the village together. On the way back to the dojo, Sauron and Kuina walked on both sides of Lin Mo holding the wine jar. Sauron couldn't help asking, Lin Mo, your move was so fast just now, I didn't see it clearly, what kind of move did you use to defeat that bandit leader? Lin Mo said casually, one knife and one life together. What a handsome name. Soren's eyes sparkled. Kuina was silent for a while, and then asked, then what method did you use just now to bring down all those bandits? Domineering. Domineering. Sauron and Kuina said in unison. Sauron asked strangely, what is domineering? Lin Mo didn't speak anymore. He is not a person who answers every question, what he wants to answer and what he doesn't want to answer, it all depends on his mood. Seeing that Lin Mo didn't want to talk, Sauron consciously didn't continue to ask. The three of them continued to move forward in silence. When they were approaching the Yixin dojo, Sauron suddenly made a decision. Through the incident that I was almost hacked by bandits just now, I decided that starting tomorrow, I will practice three-knife flow. The future Sauron was originally a very powerful three-sword swordsman. Lin Mo was not surprised at all. On the other hand, Kuina didn't quite understand. You are too tired to hold two real knives, and you want to take three. I think you are crazy, how do you get the third knife? Bite with your mouth, Sauron said firmly, I won't let myself be so passive anymore. Even if there is no chance of winning, I will fight with a knife. Instead of standing there and waiting for someone to rescue me. In fact, in the past year, Zoro has also exercised his bite strength, but he has not made up his mind to learn the three-sword style. Kuina looked at him and was silent for a long time. What an idiot, I'm not afraid of breaking my own teeth. Kuina continued, 3 knives are much more expensive than 2 knives. Since you have made up your mind, you will have to use it in the future. Only by increasing the amount of training can we sustain the consumption of the 3 swords. I know, Sauron said with a smile, I'm already mentally prepared to squeeze out all my strength every day and train hard to the death. Lin Mo did not make any remarks. Not much to say either. When the 3 of them passed the backyard of the gymnasium, the corridor of the tea room was lit. Koshiro smiled and said, You've worked hard today, Lin Mo. Lin Mo responded casually, without stopping, and continued to walk forward. After Zoro and Kuina delivered the wine they were holding to Lin Mo's room, they immediately turned back to Koshiro's tea room. Both looked at Koshiro expectantly. What's wrong? Do you want to ask me anything? Koshiro asked with a smile. Kuina quickly asked, Father, what is domineering? Huh, how do you know about domineering? Koshiro thought for a while, then asked again, did Lin Mo use domineering to deal with those bandits? Yes, Sauron nodded and said, Teacher, you were not there at the time. Do you know that Lin Mo is so handsome? With just one move, he killed the boss of the bandits. Oh, that's really powerful. Koshiro took a sip from his teacup. Yes, yes, super powerful. Zoro said in admiration. What's the name of that move? One knife flow, yes. The name is so handsome. Koshiro paused for a while. Sure enough, he is very talented, and he can actually live in a city. Soren's eyes flickered. Teacher, will you do it too? Teach me, I want to learn too. Koshiro smiled and said, I can teach you, but not now, let's practice the basic skills first. Kuina dissatisfied. Father, you haven't told us what domineering is. Koshiro smiled and continued. Domineering, they are knowledgeable, armed and domineering, it is a potential power that each of us possesses. In the following time, Koshiro briefly explained the domineering to Sauron and Kuina. The more the two little guys listened, the more excited they became. The more they listened, the more excited they became. The days after, Lin Mo, as always, lives at 3 o'clock every day, hunting, going to the tavern to drink, going back to the Yixin dojo to drink. Before he knew it, he had been in Shuangyu village for nearly 20 days. He drank all kinds of wine in the tavern, and almost all the beasts in the surrounding valleys. It's time to complete this last 20.00% progress task and leave. In Windmill Village before, relying on red-haired Shanks to complete 2 progress tasks. Here in Shuangyu village, he also completed it twice with the dragon. And the key Koshiro and Zoro are only once. This can be seen. This last mission is most likely related to Koshiro or Zoro. Perhaps, fighting against Koshiro once can complete the progress. Think of this. Lin Mo, who has completed today's hunting training, is going back to the gym to find Koshiro. It hasn't been long. Facing him, a man with 3 real swords hanging from his waist was running towards him. It's Sauron. Since defeating the bandit Sig and his gang last time, Sauron and Kuina didn't bother him anymore. During these days, Lin Mo lived quite comfortably. However, now is the time to come to him. What does Sauron want to do? Lin Mo continued to walk forward expressionlessly. Lin Mo, fight against me. Sauron came to Lin Mo excitedly. Just the same as before. Lin Mo bypassed him directly, not intending to make a move. See, Zoro hurriedly caught up and said as he walked, I'm no longer what I used to be. Really, I've been doing special training every day during this time. Now, I can use the 3-sword style to draw with Kuina. Quote. Lin Mo responded casually, oh. Sauron continued. Also, I've figured it out, I won't sneak attack you again in the future, I want to challenge you openly. Lin Mo. Sauron ran to a distance of 50 meters in front of Lin Mo and stopped, then faced him, biting one sword in his mouth and holding the other 2 in his hands, ready to go. When Lin Mo was less than 10 meters away from him, Sauron crossed his hands, and put the 2 swords in his hands parallel upwards in front of the one he was biting. Lin Mo, accept my challenge. Sauron bit his sword and said vaguely. A weak sword force spread out from him. This pose. This momentum. Lin Mo's eyes moved slightly. Could it be Purgatory Ghost Slash? He remembered that this trick should be learned 10 years later, within 2 years of Sauron and Luffy's separation. Although it is still only a prototype, Soren's posture is not very standard. Lin Mo didn't expect that this guy could improve to such a degree after not seeing him for dozens of days. He even comprehended a little bit of sword power. As expected of a man who will become a great swordsman in the future. Lin Mo has never been very disgusted with people who work hard. I've always wanted to have a good fight with you, Lin Mo, please, accept my challenge. Sauron stared at Lin Mo seriously. Lin Mo stopped in his tracks and stared at him silently. Suddenly the corner of his mouth hooked, and Lin Mo pulled He Daoyi's words out of the scabbard. Okay, then before I leave, I will fulfill you once. For the past 10 days, Sauron has been training at the limit of the human body every day, which frightened the children around him who practiced sword together. Koshiro worried that his body would be badly trained, and even talked to him specifically, hoping that he could reduce the amount of training. But Sauron refused. Koshiro went to Kuina again, wanting Kuina to persuade Zoro. Unexpectedly, Kuina's attitude was actually the same as that of Sauron. Even Kuina's training volume is several times higher than before. The reason why these 2 children started to train crazily was the day after Lin Mo killed the bandit Sieg and his gang in seconds more than 10 days ago. Koshiro was very depressed, but there was no way to stop the 2 of them. In the valley, Lin Mo accepted Soren's challenge. The two stood opposite each other. They are all ready to fight at any time. A gleam flashed in Soren's eyes, and he rushed to Lin Mo first. When he was approaching Lin Mo, the sword he held in both hands skillfully drew two intersecting arcs, and the sword in his mouth was also under his handy control, and the three swords slashed aggressively at the same time. Lin Mo. Compared with the first time when he recklessly confronted Lin Mo with brute force, he is not at the same level at all. To be able to improve so much in a short period of time, talent and savvy alone are not enough. There must also be enough training to form physical memory. Just from Soren's current sword skills and control of the three swords, it can be seen that this guy has worked very hard during this time. But the current Sauron is still too weak for Lin Mo. Lin Mo narrowed his eyes slightly, and saw the opponent's flaw at a glance. When Sauron approached, he sent Sauron flying with one blow. The word he Dao is sheathed. Lin Mo looked at the person lying on the ground not far away. Sauron gritted his teeth and stared blankly at the sky. After a while, he got up from the ground, patted the ashes on his body, and said with a grin, "Sure enough, I am far from your opponent. It seems that I still have to just work harder." Lin Mo looked at him. Suddenly there was a touch in my heart. "Sauron," Lin Mo said, "for your move just now, try to raise your shoulders a little more, concentrate your attention a little more, and lower your chassis a little more." Sauron was taken aback. Without thinking too much, he immediately picked up the sword that fell beside him, and set up the action just as Lin Mo said. "Is that so?" Zoro asked vaguely, biting the hilt of his sword. Lin Mo nodded, and continued, "You can strike again and see." "It is good," Zoro responded, and turned his gaze to the tree closest to him. Lin Mo already felt that Soren's sword power was a little higher than before. Sauron immediately rushed towards the big tree, and with one blow, 3 sword marks nearly 10 centimeters deep were left on the big tree. "Huh." Sauron stared at the sword marks cut out by himself. His eyes sparkled. "I could only cut 5 centimeters deep before. Lin Mo, you are too good. You can make me break through with any guidance. Try more." Lin Mo continued, "This trick can be even stronger, just keep working hard." "Yes, I will." Sauron nodded solemnly. Just when he had just finished speaking, there was a click, and the sword in his right hand suddenly split open, and half of the blade fell to the ground. Sauron widened his eyes and stared at the half of the sword that fell on the ground. His expression changed drastically, and he shouted, "Ah, why is it broken? I bought it after saving money for a long time. It's over, and one is missing. Sword, how can I practice sword in the future?" During this time, he was training with real swords. Ordinary swords cannot withstand the intensity of Soren's training. Therefore, the 3 swords have varying degrees of damage, especially the sword held in the right hand. The damage is more serious, and it will break sooner or later. Lin Mo also stared at the half of the sword that fell to the ground. I thought to myself, is it too coincidental that it was just a sword that was broken at this time? There was silence for a moment. He pulled Dao Yiwen with the scabbard from his waist. "Sauron," Lin Mo called him. Sauron had tears in his eyes, and was still immersed in the sadness of his broken love knife. When he heard Lin Mo calling him, he turned his head to look at Lin Mo. Lin Mo threw Hidao's words to him. Sauron stretched out his hand reflexively to catch it, looked at Hidao's words, and then at Lin Mo. "Who are you?" "I'll see you off," Lin Mo said calmly. "Huh." Sauron was shocked. Why? Didn't I lose to you? This knife is very suitable for you." Lin Mo didn't say anything more, turned around and walked towards Yixin Dojo. Just walked a few steps. In mind, the system alert sounded. "Didi, send Hidao text to Sauron, and the sign in progress will be plus 20%. Single quote. Didi, Frost Moon Village sign in task is completed. Congratulations to the host for unlocking the 6 styles, sword skill level +1, and the current sword skill level is LV6. Single quote. Heard. Lin Mo stopped suddenly. A palpitating power emanated from him. Just like before, the power soon dissipated. It seems there's no need to challenge Koshiro. However, the final progress was really beyond his expectation. Lin Mo smiled and opened the property panel. Name, Lin Mo. Age, 10 years old. Check-in location. See Restaurant Bharati, 0%. Domineering. Armed color LV2, Overlord color LV3, Knowledge color LV2. Skills. Fire Escape Dragon Fire Art Beginner Swordsmanship LV6. 6 styles. Finger Gun LV1, Iron Block LV1, Shaving Unlocked, Moonstep Unlocked, Haze Feet Unlocked, Paper Painting Unlocked. Weapon. Demon Blade Starbreaker Lake Toya. System Space. 10x10x10 cubic meters. The 6 forms are the 6 physical arts that surpass the limits of the human body in the world of pirates. If you have mastered all these 6 physical skills, you will be quite strong. It's a pity that only finger guns and iron blocks are unlocked now. Pointing the gun is a technique that claims to have the power of a gun. Concentrate all the strength on the index finger, and release a blow with the hardened finger. The fingertips have bullet-like attack power, which can easily penetrate the human body or even steel. The iron block is the defensive technique in the 6 forms. Drums strength into a leanly trained body, giving it an iron-like hardness. Even ordinary bullets and knives cannot break through. As for the body skills that are not unlocked later, I will explain it after unlocking. Collapse the properties panel. Lin Mo continued to walk towards Yixin Dojo. The task is completed, it's time to go. After all, I have lived in Yixin Dojo for so long, at least I have to say goodbye to Koshiro. Sauron hugged Lin Mo's words of Hidao, and stared blankly at his back. Just now, a terrifying force suddenly appeared that made him shudder. His legs were so frightened that he fell to the ground. Sauron tremblingly looked at Lin Mo not far away, who stayed for a while and then continued to move forward. Probably already knew who emitted that terrifying power. Although it was only for a moment, he didn't think it was an illusion. Yes, is it Lin Mo? Sauron swallowed anxiously. It's too scary, what the hell was that just now? One Heart Dojo. Koshiro is watching the students practice basic skills at the dojo. Sensing Lin Mo's breath, Koshiro looked at Lin Mo who had just arrived at the entrance of the dojo, and smiled. You came back earlier today than before. Yeah, Lin Mo said directly, I'm leaving. Koshiro paused for a moment, a fleeting surprise flashed in his eyes, and then he said in relief, I think so. You said you want to be a traveler, so are you going to leave now? Lin Mo nodded. Yes. Kuina, who was taking the lead in practicing the basic skills, immediately came to the door of the dojo when she heard it. Her face was full of disbelief, and her heart was full of anger. You want to leave? Why? Sauron and I haven't defeated you yet. Well, I don't want you to go. Guina was not reconciled. She doesn't want Lin Mo to leave. How despicable. She hasn't defeated him yet. How can she just leave? Lin Mo. Biting her lower lip, Kuina tried her best to hold back her emotions, and continued, Do you have to leave? If you really leave, I won't forgive you. You really can't stay. No. Lin Mo shook his head and said, I'm a traveler, and I don't stay in one place for too long. But I haven't defeated you yet. Kuina said aggrievedly, You want to go, does Sauron know? Before the battle with Sauron, Lin Mo had told him. According to the situation at the time, that guy should not have noticed. Even if he didn't pay attention, that's what he said. Lin Mo nodded, I told him. That idiot. Kuina clenched her fists. I didn't keep you. What the hell is this idiot Sauron doing? Guina, it's all right. Koshiro said helplessly. Parting is always painful, and besides, your separation now doesn't mean that you won't meet again in the future. When you and Zoro grow up, you will become outstanding swordsmen. Sir, I will not stop you from going to sea. Lin Mo didn't expect that his departure would cause Guina's mood to fluctuate so much. Sure enough, he was still a child. Then at least before you leave, let's fight again. Kuina took a deep breath, just like challenging Lin Mo for the first time. She pointed the bamboo sword in her hand at Lin Mo. I won't challenge you. Same words, different mood. Koshiro wanted to say something more, but after thinking about it, he decided to forget it. Lin Mo looked at Kuina speechlessly. He just came to say goodbye. That's it. How did you get invited to fight again? There was silence for a moment. Lin Mo didn't intend to fight. 10 years. Lin Mo stared at Ji Yuyina's eyes and continued, Our duel will be held in 10 years. When you become stronger, come to the New World to find me. After finishing speaking, Lin Mo didn't stay any longer, turned around and left Yixin Dojo. Kuina stood there in a daze. Koshiro smiled and stroked her hair. before the official duel, try to make yourself stronger. Father. Kuina looked at Koshiro. Didn't you say that girls can't become the number one in the world? Then do you think I have a chance to defeat Lin Mo? Who can tell for sure in the future? Koshiro smiled. Guina, you have to know that your father is not a person with small vision and limited thinking. You are my daughter. Out of selfishness, I actually don't want you to be the first to fight with others and fall into danger. I hope you can stay by my side like an ordinary girl, and grow up healthy and happy. Father, then, didn't what you said that day come from the heart? Kuina's eyes flickered. Koshiro smiled and said, of course not. Then what are you doing now? I've figured it out these days. Koshiro continued, if I stop you who are working so hard, wouldn't I be a sinner? Father, thank you. Kuina smiled through her tears, and finally let go of the stone hanging in her heart these days. Father, I want to discuss something with you. Well, let's talk. I want to surpass Lin Mo, so please teach me the sword skills that can make me stronger. Guina's eyes were firm. Okay. Koshiro agreed to her frankly. At this time, Sauron came back. Seeing Kuina and Master Koshiro at the entrance of the dojo, he asked strangely, Guina, teacher, what are you doing here? Kuina saw the Hidaui writing on Soren's waist at a glance. She was stunned, and asked in disbelief, how come the Hidaui writing is with you? Lin Mo gave it to me. Sauron replied, I had a duel with him just now. Although I lost, he also pointed out the sword move I invented, which is the one that I tied with you. Really, Lin Mo is super powerful. He just gave me some pointers, and the power of my move has been increased by at least 2 times. When I tried the move, I broke a sword, and then he gave me the word Hidao. After a short pause, Sauron continued, I don't know why he gave me the word Hidao. Maybe it was because I broke a knife, so he gave it to me. Kuina clenched her teeth, feeling very angry. Koshiro looked at Sauron thoughtfully. Sauron scratched the back of his head and smirked. Koshiro said, Lin Mo is not a casual person. Since he gave you the word Hidao, it means that you have his approval. What? Sauron was surprised. Really? Lin Mo really recognized me? HMPH. Kuina said dissatisfiedly, that's great, that guy fought with you and gave you pointers before he left, but he gave you all the knives. Sauron, don't be complacent, and Dao Yuan I will not give up. I will use my strength to take Hidao back, and 10 years later, I will definitely defeat Lin Mo before you. Huh, 10 years later? Zoro asked inexplicably, what are you talking about? Don't tell me, you don't know about Lin Mo's leaving. Huh, Sauron was shocked, what? He's leaving, when is he leaving? Why didn't he tell me? Kuina was stunned, he said he told you. When did he? Before he finished speaking, Sauron suddenly remembered what Lin Mo had said before the confrontation with Lin Mo just now, and his face changed drastically, and he asked quickly, he must have left not long ago, right? Guina nodded. Without saying a word, Sauron immediately ran towards the pier. Go. Koshiro patted Kuina on the back, you should also send Lin Mo off. Kuina hesitated, but chased after her. Frost Moon Village is not very far from the pier. Lin Mo arrived at the pier after walking for about 10 minutes. Find the small sailboat he had parked on the shore before. Lin Mo boarded the boat directly and untied the rope tied to the shore. Turn on the system navigation and start sailing in the direction of the sea restaurant Bharati. On the shore, Soren's voice suddenly sounded. Lin Mo. Sauron looked at the back of Lin Mo on the boat that had sailed tens of meters away, and shouted, thank you. Lin Mo looked back. Kuina also chased to the shore at this time, and like Sauron, she yelled at him, 10 years later, I will definitely go to the New World to find you, and you must live well before I confront you. I won't allow you to lose to anyone else until I beat you. Lin Mo. Sauron held up the words of Hidao and continued to shout, I will definitely defeat you before Guina, and then use the words of Hidao to become the world's #1 swordsman. Lin Mo looked back at Sauron and Kuina speechlessly. What are these two guys doing here? After thinking about it, he still stretched out his hand and waved at them. The two people on the shore waved their hands immediately, saying in unison, Bon voyage. Lin Mo left Shuangyu village and sailed on the sea for a whole week. Finally at noon on the 8th day, I saw Bharati's boat shadow. Bharati is a well-known sea restaurant in Donghai. When dining in Bharati, you must follow the principle of absolutely not wasting food. Because there are many fully armed fighting chefs, Bharati is also known as a restaurant with the name of Fighting. Based on Lin Mo's understanding of restaurants on the sea, Bharati's chef and boss Redfoot Zapu and Sanji, who will become the sous chef for a short time in the future, should be the key people to complete this check-in-progress task. The boat carrying Lin Mo slowly approached Balati. Because it happened to be lunchtime, many ships have already stopped around Bharati. Park your boat casually between the two big boats, and tie the ropes. Lin Mo just stepped onto Bharati's deck. The long-lost reminder sound came in my mind. Didi, congratulations to the host for successfully arriving at the sea restaurant Bharati at the sign-in location. The sign in progress is plus 10%, and the current total progress is 10%. The new skill Shunbu LV1 is rewarded, and the system space has been expanded tenfold. The current total system space is 100x 100x 100 cubic meters. Single quote. 100x 100 by 100 cubic meters, which is quite large. If it is filled with food and drinks, Lin Mo alone can eat and drink for a whole year. And this Shunpo. When the system integrated Shunpo's information into his mind, Lin Mo couldn't help but his eyes lit up. This is a skill in Reaper that can move the body quickly, and can move to the opponent's side or farther away at a speed that the opponent cannot see. Advanced Shunpo Kongchen can even teleport himself out of the encirclement when he is surrounded. For Lin Mo, Shunpo is a very good auxiliary skill. Open the red door leading to the dining hall. Lin Mo walked in calmly. In the dining hall, many diners have already been seated. At this time, a burly man with a big mouth and a face resembling an orangutan walked towards Lin Mo rubbing his hands. Welcome, kid. We don't welcome poor people. Are you rich? Lin Mo looked up at him. It's Patty. Patty was originally a pirate, but later defected to the sea restaurant and became a chef and combatant. It is normal to have to pay for a meal in a restaurant. Lin Mo didn't think it was a big problem for Patty to ask him if he had money from the very beginning. Just touch it. Lin Mo took out a money bag and weighed it in his hand. Patty's ears moved, and he smiled immediately. The customer is God, please come with me. Arranging Lin Mo at an empty table, Patty took out a menu, rubbed his hands, grinned, rolled his eyes, and smiled obscenely. Guest, please order. Lin Mo casually glanced at the dishes on the menu. The consumption here is indeed much higher than the restaurants on the shore. Lin Mo ordered a few dishes at random. Patty had just recorded which dishes Lin Mo had ordered. At this time, Bharati's door was opened from the outside again. Two young men in navy uniforms first appeared in front of everyone. Immediately afterwards, a tall and burly man wearing a dog hood strode in. Welcome, Lieutenant General Garp. As soon as Patty saw the person coming, he immediately greeted him with a smile. Ha ha ha. Garp laughed loudly. I haven't eaten Bharati's desserts for a long time. Go, bring me all the delicious desserts in the store. Okay, I'll be here soon. Patty smiled and arranged Garp at the table on Lin Mo's right. The two Marines who came in with Garp stood upright behind Garp. Lin Mo glanced at him. Sure enough, it is Lu Fei's grandfather, the father of the Revolutionary Army Dragon, and the Vice Admiral known as Iron Fist Garp. In fact, Garp's strength has long surpassed the level of a lieutenant general, as can be seen from the fact that he chased the former One Piece Roger and pushed Roger into desperation many times. It's just that he has repeatedly refused to be promoted to admiral, so he has always retained the title of lieutenant general. Thinking of the time before in Windmill Village, Garp called Redhead once. This time he returned to the East China Sea. He should go to the Windmill Village to find Luffy. Lin Mo did not expect that such a coincidence would meet Garp in Bharati. Take a sip of wine. Lin Mo put his wine gourd on the dining table. Garp at the next table sniffed his nose, then turned to look at Lin Mo. Little devil, what are you drinking? Wine. Lin Mo responded casually. Turning his gaze, Garp suddenly noticed the Lake Toya hanging on Lin Mo's waist. He rubbed his chin and thought for a moment, then asked, Are you a swordsman? Lin Mo continued to drink, not going to answer him. Seeing this, Garp laughed loudly. Ha ha ha, what an interesting kid, what's your name? Swallowing the wine in his mouth, Lin Mo said calmly, Lin Mo. Are you Bharati alone? Ah. Cap then asked, which island are you from? Lin Mo looked at him speechlessly. Is this guy here to check the account? Lin Mo continued to drink, ignoring him directly. At this time, a blond boy with several band-aids on his face, who looked like he had just been beaten up, came over with 2 plates of food. Your food is here, please use it slowly. The person who came was the 9-year-old Sanji, the chef and one of the main combat forces on the future One Piece Lu spaceship. Put the dishes in front of Lin Mo. Sanji is about to go back to the kitchen. Just turned around. Suddenly, several harsh voices came from a dining table not far away. Why are there carrots in the fried rice? I hate eating carrots the most. Such unpalatable things shouldn't exist in the world. Oh, if you don't like it, just throw it away. Let's order another one without carrots, shall we? It was a richly dressed young woman and her 10-year-old son. Sanji looked towards the table where the woman and her son were. It's okay if you don't look at it, but when you look at it, it almost blows him up. That boy actually dumped a plate of fried rice on the table, and even played with the fried rice with a spoon, occasionally dropping a little bit of rice to the floor. For Sanji, who had almost starved to death, he could not forgive such a waste of food. Hey, Sanji angrily walked towards the child who wasted food. The child's mother, the young woman, saw Sanji approaching, and immediately said, "It's just in time, we have to order again." Sanji ignored the woman's request to order food, but asked, "Do you know how many people are starving in the world? How can you waste food like this?" The young woman froze for a moment, and couldn't help but frown. What kind of mess are you talking about? The food I bought with money can be wasted as much as I want. What does it have to do with you? So what if you have more money? Sanji clenched his fists and said excitedly, "In a place where there is nothing to eat, can money fill your stomach?" In the huge dining hall. At this moment, most of the diners stopped. It's like watching a show. Focus on Sanji, who is arguing with a customer. The gorgeously dressed woman looked around. Seeing that everyone was looking at them, he pouted his lips, and suddenly had a flash of inspiration, and dumped half of the fried rice left on his plate on the ground in front of Sanji. Sanji widened his eyes. The woman stepped on the fried rice on the ground, and then said with a smirk, "Don't you hate others wasting food? Why don't you just eat the fried rice that fell on the ground? Anyway, I spent money too, just treat it as my invitation, don't be shy." "You." Sanji trembled angrily. "Oh my goodness," the woman said in astonishment, "why, do you only know how to play tricks? Saying one thing and doing another is really disappointing. From now on, don't ask others for things you can't do yourself. Do." The woman's words caused laughter from some people around her. There were also a few people who felt that she had gone too far, but did not stop her. Sanji stared at the fried rice that had been trampled dirty on the ground, his clenched fists loosened and clenched, then loosened and clenched again. Finally, Sanji took a deep breath and asked, "If I eat the fried rice on the floor, you will eat all the rice on the table?" The woman squinted her eyes slightly, and stepped on the fried rice on the ground a few more times. "Okay," the woman sneered, "as long as you eat the fried rice on the floor, I'll eat all the rice on the table." "Okay, that's what you said." After finishing speaking, Sanji squatted on the ground, picked up the dirty fried rice with his hands, stuffed it into his mouth, and started to eat. "Mom, is that guy a fool?" The woman's son pointed at Sanji with a spoon and laughed, "Ha ha ha, he actually ate fried rice on the ground. Is he a beggar? Ha ha ha." At this time, some customers around couldn't help talking. "Who the hell is bullying a child like that? No, did you really eat it? I thought he was joking. Hey, the woman over there, everyone has eaten the fried rice on the ground. You should fulfill your promise and eat the rice on the table, right?" "That's right, eat the food on the table." The woman gritted her teeth and listened to the discussions of other customers around her. She couldn't help getting up, and wanted to leave here with her son. "Isn't it? Obviously promised that child, but broke his promise, it's too bad." "That's right, her son is still here, what a bad example. Hurry up and eat. The food that other children eat is the food that you stepped on and dirty. As long as you eat the food on the table, you will earn it no matter what." Everyone's discussion constantly stimulated the woman's ears. She was so effeminate. She looked at Sanji, who was still lying on the ground eating the fried rice that had been trampled by her. Jaw clenched. Immediately grabbed the fried rice dumped on the table by his son, ate it all in a few mouthfuls, then took his son's hand, walked out quickly, and muttered as he walked, "What a broken restaurant, brat, you wait for me." The other side. Lin Mo watched Sanji's situation while drinking the 2 appetizers he ordered. Perhaps in the eyes of many people, there is no need for Sanji to argue with that woman over such a trivial matter. There is no need to actually pick up the dirty fried rice on the ground. If Sanji really ignores these, then it's not Sanji. After all, spoiling food and beating women were the most intolerable things for him. Therefore, Sanji's actions were all within Lin Mo's expectations. At this time, Patty came out of the back kitchen with a big smile on his hand, carrying a large tray full of desserts, and saw Sanji's situation. His face suddenly sank. "Hurry up and send Carp's dessert over there." Then he came behind Sanji, grabbed Sanji by the collar of his back, and lifted him up. The mother and son who wasted food before are gone. Patty didn't know exactly what happened between Sanji and the guests at this table. But seeing a spread of fried rice that was trampled dirty on the ground, and a grain of rice still sticking to the corner of Sanji's mouth, he probably guessed the situation. "Let me go, Patty the asshole." Sanji struggled hard. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.